With a 14-game home winning streak on the line, the Cubs welcomed in the Baltimore Orioles to Wrigley Field for the first time as the O's built an early 6-run lead. The never say die Cubs mounted a comeback. And with the bases loaded in the ninth, could they extend the streak? Unfortunately, not on this night. Time to start another streak tonight. From Wrigley Field on a beautiful night for Cubs baseball. The wind is blowing out. The Orioles are in town for the first time ever, and they ended the Cubs' 14-game home winning streak last night. And the Cubs again will try to start another streak this evening. Middle game of this series, the Cubs hosting the Baltimore Orioles. Hi again, everyone. Alongside Bob Brenly, I'm Len Casper. Some lineup changes for both teams. Left-hander Brian Burris has the flu, so he's out. Matt Albers will get the start. Kosuke Fukudome has some tightness in his left calf. Not a serious injury, but Eric Patterson's going to lead off tonight.
Well, Eric Patterson's done a nice job since his recall from AAA Iowa. As Lou is wont to do, he threw him right into the fire, and he has done a great job. You see his numbers on the season. He's 6 for his last 11 going back to Saturday. He's drawn a couple of walks, one miscue defensively in left field last night, but he's really doing a nice job with the bat.
While the Cubs and the O's are pretty unfamiliar with one another, Ted Lilly has faced this team a lot, and there are a couple of guys in their lineup with good success against him, including Jay Payton.
Yeah, Len, that's one of the things about interleague play. You see a lot of pitchers, a lot of players you're not familiar with, but not the case for Jay Payton against Ted Lilly. He's had some pretty good numbers against the Cubs left-hander in his career.
And Payton will get the start tonight for Baltimore in center field. We mentioned Brian Burris, a left-hander, is out. Matt Albers has faced the Cubs before. He's a former Houston Astro.
Yeah, limited experience against Matt Albers. A couple guys have 4 or 5 at-bats against him, but very limited at best.
And coming up, left-hander Ted Lilly, who's gone 2-1 here in 4 June starts, his 6-2 lifetime against the Orioles. He'll take the ball when we come back for Cubs baseball.
The great American holiday is coming, and here's something to celebrate: the Chevy 72-hour sale. You only have 72 hours to declare your independence from interest payments for 6 full years, with 0% financing for 72 months. Choose from thousands of Chevys, like the HHR, with an EPA estimated 30 miles per gallon on the highway. The Chevy 72-hour sale. See your local Chevy dealer today.
So, you're a green person, but which shade? Confusing, isn't it? Well, True Value's Color Made Simple can help. With exclusive tools, trained professionals, and expert advice, finding your color will always be simple. Now let's talk purple. True Value's Color Made Simple.
Meeting the challenge since 1940.
When you need your vehicle repaired, look no further than River City Pipe Vendors. Why? Other than auto body, River City Pipe Vendors can repair anything and everything, from oil changes to transmission and engine overhauls. River City Pipe Vendors is one of the only places that repairs everything. The same technician will always repair your vehicle and will know your vehicle. No one is on commission. River City Pipe Vendors tells it like it is. Trust Clinton's own full-service repair facility. Trust River City Pipe Vendors.
Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by Chevy. Log on now to ChevyDriveChicago.com. Check us out today, ChevyDriveChicago.com. Midas, for brakes, oil changes, tires, and more. Trust the Midas touch. Your Chicago area Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Menards. At Menards, you'll find big lumber yards, big selection, and big savings. At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, we want to give you the security to experience wellness everywhere. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Cadillac, Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit. And by Southwest Airlines. With Southwest Airlines, you're now free to be more productive. Visit southwest.com today.
And the first 10,000 fans in attendance tonight received a lunch bag courtesy of Baby Ruth. Wind blowing out tonight. It's heating up. So the starting pitchers will try to keep the ball down tonight. Ted Lilly has the ball, and he'll take his warm-up tosses. And let's check in on the Orioles Southwest starting lineup. Brian Roberts now with 1,000 career hits. He had 3 last night. Markakis in right, Moore at third. Aubrey Huff with his first start in the series. He's in there for Kevin Millar. Ramon Hernandez 6 for 12 with 2 home runs and 5 walks against Lilly. Luke Scott's in left. Payton, we mentioned him, in center. Cintrone in short, and now Matt Albers filling in for Brian Burris.
Let's take a look at the Cubs defensively. Brought to you by Rico. Move your ideas forward with Rico dependability. This is the altered lineup. Eric Patterson in left, Jim Edmonds in center. Mark DeRosa moves out to right field in place of Kosuke Fukudome. Ramirez Interior on the left side. Mike Fontenot a late insertion at second base. Derek Lee over at first. Giovanni Soto once again behind the plate tonight for left-hander Ted Lilly. You look at his numbers on the season. He has really been good as of late. A couple of starts ago against his old team, the Toronto Blue Jays, 6 innings of 1-hit shutout baseball. Most recently, a no decision in a 4-3 Cubs win over the White Sox. Went 6 2/3, gave up 7 hits and 3 runs, struck out 8 in that ball game.
Let's check in on the game conditions. 79. Humidity up there, and the wind blowing out of the west-southwest. A sticky forecast. And now the Kia umpires. Marvin Hudson will call the balls and strikes. Mike Winters is the crew chief at first. Brian Knight at second, and Hunter Wendelstedt's over at third. You see that wind blowing the trees out on Waveland. And we know Ted Lilly is a fly ball pitcher. And because of that, and with the wind blowing out, one of the big keys tonight will be don't walk people.
Absolutely. No free passes. They're going to get their hits and possibly their home runs tonight against Ted Lilly, given the conditions here at Wrigley Field. But you just try to minimize the damage and give your offense a chance to overcome any numbers that the Orioles happen to put on the board.
So here's Roberts, who has an 11-game hitting streak, and he hits the first pitch to right. It's Mark DeRosa making the catch. Well, let me see if I have this right. Mark DeRosa was in left, and he was at second, and now he's in right. 3 different lineups. So you see the fly balls, fly outs. Ted Lilly among the leaders. Cubs had a lineup against left-hander Brian Burris. I said the flu, that's actually a stomach ailment. That's what they're calling it. So he will not start in this series. It's Matt Albers instead. So the Cubs then went back to their lineup from last night, 1 through 8. And then we found out Kosuke Fukudome has some tightness in his left calf. But Bob, it doesn't sound as if it's a serious thing. He's out of the lineup for precautionary reasons. And it's a day-to-day injury.
A cross up right there. That's unusual with nobody on base to have a cross up, but you could see the way Giovanni Soto reacted to that pitch and then immediately trotted out to Ted Lilly on the mound. One's a fastball, 2's a curve. Watch Gio come up out of his crouch here. He's expecting a fastball, and then Lilly throws a curveball. Fortunately, you can make that adjustment. If you're anticipating a fastball, you can still catch an off-speed pitch. However, if it's the other way around, it's a little tougher.
Ground ball to Mike Fontenot. So that last change, that sent DeRosa out to right and put Fontenot into the lineup at second base. I have the whiteout tape. You use an eraser, right? You go with the pencil.
Just like my golf game, I make sure I always have an eraser on that pencil. I'm about due for a new pencil too. We were on such a good winning streak there. I didn't want to change anything, including the pencil I use on my scorebook. But with the loss last night, we'll see how it goes tonight. I may have to switch to a new pencil. Not that I'm superstitious or anything.
No, of course not. 1-0 on Melvin Moore. Just 3 for 25 against Lilly, but he's walked 12 times. Struck out 7 times. Breaking ball for a strike. We're working on the pitch speed graphic. Hopefully we'll have that sorted out here very shortly. So not too many guys have fared worse against Lilly. than Melvin Mora. Lilly making his 17th start of the year. Big swing and a miss. 1-2.
Boy, Ted Lilly really pitching with a lot of confidence his last 3 or 4 starts, and I think it's because he has the command of that fastball back again. That 4-seam fastball, he likes to run into the right-handers. Really sets up his off-speed pitches away. There was a time earlier this season when he tried to throw that 4-seamer inside to right-handers. It would inevitably stray back over the heart of the plate and tended to get hit pretty hard. But when he can spot that heater inside off the plate, get some weak swings from right-handed batters, at least make them move their hands and move their feet, then he can go back away with his off-speed stuff.
Another 1-2, popped him up. Short right. And it's DeRosa again. A 9-pitch first inning for Ted Lilly. So the Cubs will go to work offensively against right-hander Matt Albers when we come back to Wrigley Field.
What your engine feels, you feel. And when it's running clean, you feel it. That's why Pennzoil Motor Oil is specially formulated to clean out up to 15% of sludge in the first oil change. And a cleaner engine just feels better. So change with Pennzoil and feel the clean. Not just oil, Pennzoil. And now a 5-quart jug is only $10 for a limited time at Walmart.
Dames en heren, we gaan beginnen!
Exceptionally brewed for a taste that's pure Amsterdam. Amstel Light, one damn good beer.
We've sold thousands of quality used cars, but actually, quality used cars sell themselves. Hello, I'm Bruce Dickstein of the David Bruce Auto Center. Our factory-trained technicians go through every used car. The ones that pass go on our lot. The ones that don't, they go somewhere else. At the David Bruce Auto Center, we take the risk out of buying. We believe it's the only way to buy a used car.
And if credit has been a problem, see David Bruce for a second chance.
Bottom of the first inning. Let's check in on the Cubs Southwest starting lineup. Eric Patterson now up in that leadoff spot. He was not in the original lineup against the lefty and moved up from second to first with Kosuke out. Terry Lee Ramirez, Edmonds in center. Soto catching, DeRosa in right, Mike Fontenot at second base, Ted Lilly hitting ninth.
Take a quick look at the Orioles defensively. Luke Scott, Jay Payton, Nick Markakis across the outfield. Melvin Mora at third. Alex Cintron at shortstop. Brian Roberts at second base. Aubrey Huff getting the start today at first base. Ramon Hernandez behind the plate once again for right-hander Matt Albers. Look at his numbers. He has 2 previous starts this season. The 3-2 record, fine ERA of 2.77. And as we mentioned, the Cubs are remotely familiar with Matt Albers, his time with the Houston Astros.
Just outside on Patterson. He's in the leadoff spot for the 3rd time this year. The Cubs winning previously both times when he was in that leadoff spot. Backdoor breaking ball in there. 1-2. The next pitch in on the hands, and he fouled it back.
Albers has 4 pitches. As a reliever, he usually only uses the fastball, a 4-seamer and a 2-seamer and the slider, but he'll probably try to mix in some curves and changeups. Obviously, pitching out of the bullpen most of the year, you want to try to run up that pitch count, only making his 3rd start of the season. That's something the Cubs have been very adept at recently, altering their approach depending on the pitcher's approach. If they've got a strike thrower out there on the mound, they've been very aggressive swinging early in the count. If they have a guy who nibbles and tends to run up high pitch counts, they've been very patient against those guys.
2-2 on the way, and he struck him out swinging. And the umpires are a little different than what we had. Marvin Hudson is working the plate. See that good breaking ball. Brian Knight at first, Hunter Wendelstedt at second base, and Dan Bolino is over third. This is his major league debut. So Mike Winters is not working tonight as Terrio will dig in. That would make sense that the umpires would change since both lineups did. That sneaks under the glove of Mora into the bullpen, and Terrio on his way to second base. So he has a double. He's in scoring position with one out.
That's one huge advantage Ryan Terrio has. Corner infielders always anticipate a bunt from Terrio, and Melvin Mora was playing shallow, couldn't get over there in time to make the backhanded play, and the Riot ends up at second base with a one-out double.
And it brings up Derek Lee. He's hitting 5 straight. 9 for 20 during this modest hitting streak. So the Cubs battling more injuries, and again the Kosuke injury not considered serious, just out for precautionary measures, but you have Soriano on the DL. Now Kosuke day to day. Carlos Zambrano on the disabled list. Reed Johnson also on the DL with lower back spasms. Hit off a tee today, feeling better. Also Z played catch for the first time. About 20 tosses, said he felt good.
You know me, Len, I always try to look on the bright side of things, and guys who spent time on the disabled list in the middle of the season, ideally they come back stronger and better than they were before the injury. Mark O'Neill and Ed Halbert do such a great job down in the Cubs training room, getting these guys back on the field in an orderly fashion, and you'd like to think that Carlos and others will benefit from a little bit of the time off, come back even stronger than ever.
3-0 on Lee. Look by Albers, back at Terrio. Now the pitch, swinging away, hits it up the middle. Backhanded by Roberts, long throw, save. Just beat it out. It's a good effort by Brian Roberts. And Derek now with a 6-game hitting streak. We talked last night about how Derek had not put a ball in play on a 3-0 pitch all year. Well, he just did, and he gets an infield single.
Well, actually probably should have gone through into center field. You see Roberts comes all the way from his second base position on the shortstop side of the bag to make that backhanded play. And Ramon Hernandez, the Orioles catcher, had just come out and moved Roberts closer to second base. They wanted to try to shorten up the lead of Ryan Terrio, and that's the only reason Roberts was able to get to that ball and at least momentarily deny the Cubs a run.
Ramos, and he hits a rocket foul. It is his 30th birthday. Happy birthday to Ramos Ramirez. Cake looks good. Maybe a little carrot cake, something like that.
Is carrot cake considered health food?
Sure, it has veggies in it.
Okay.
Right? A lot of vitamin A. Outside. So Luke Scott also turning 30 today. He and Aramis were born on the same day. Carlos Delgado turning 36. Paul Maholm 26. One and two. Albers facing the Cubs for the 6th time in his career, the 2nd time as a starter. All the previous appearances were with Houston. First career start here at Wrigley Field, 2 previous relief outings, and a 7.71 earned run average here in the friendly confines. The 1-2 is outside. Now the Orioles actually had an 8-man bullpen, so even though they take Albers out of the pen and put him in a starting role, they still should be okay. a little later on with their bullpen, but you know, Dave Tremblay would like to see Albers give him a few innings at the very least. And along those lines, you'd like to see the Cubs work a lot of deep counts. Albers threw 36 pitches in 2 innings of work in his last outing 4 days ago at Milwaukee. Three and 2. We'll see if Derek Lee will be running. I would guess that would be the case.
I would think so. I mean, Lou normally likes to start the runners if he has confidence that the hitter's going to make contact if the pitch is in the strike zone. And the Cubs have grounded into their share of double plays recently, so I think Lou's going to start Derek over there at first base.
See, Hernandez took a look into the visiting dugout. Lee is not running. Base hit in the left. So Aramis comes through on his birthday, and the Cubs lead 1-0. Theriot scoring. RBI 55 for Aramis.
Sinker up in the zone. Aramis finds that hole in the left side of the infield. Just a top spin grounder that gets through to drive home the first run of the game for the Cubs.
Here's Jim Edmonds. He was in the original lineup against the left-hander. And he's now hitting 5th versus the righty. He would have been in the 7th spot versus Burris. Moved his hands, ball 1. Now looking at the 2 starts, Bob, that Albers has made this year, he actually stretched out back on April 30th against Tampa Bay through 94 pitches. And going way back into mid-April, 83 pitches in 5 innings against the Blue Jays. So he can stretch it out if needed. 2-0. When every manager and pitching coach wants to have a guy like Matt Albers or John Lieber in a pinch, just give me the ball. I'll throw it as many times as you need.
You know, it may seem like a luxury, but over the course of a long baseball season, as we've seen already, there are those occasions where you just need somebody to come in and eat up innings. Keep the ball in the ballpark and throw strikes and eat up 3 or 4 or 5 innings at the end of a ball game when your starter's been blown out early. The Cubs doing a nice job of working some counts here, running up the pitch count on Albers early in the ball game.
He's thrown 20 already and has recorded just 1 out. The 3-0 pitch. Edmonds took it all the way, and they're loaded up for Giovanni Soto. You know, Gio would like to come up with a big hit. He's hitting just 206 here in the month of June. And Rick Kranitz, the pitching coach, is going to head out. 4 straight Cubs have gotten on base. Well, that is a good sight. The ace out playing catch today. And again, said he felt good. He took a little batting practice, but only from the right side, trying to protect that right shoulder, which would be the back shoulder and the right-handed hitter's batter's box. And all of a sudden, the Orioles wondering if something's going on with Albers. I think he might be done. Rick Kranitz is looking out at the bullpen, trying to figure out who to ask for. And that's it.
Wow.
So Albers done after just 5 batters. So whoever comes in, and it's going to be Lance Cormier, he'll get as much time as he needs to warm up. So it's the Heineken call to the pen. Here in the bottom of the first inning, the Cubs lead 1-0. They have him loaded, and we'll be back.
I need you. I need you every single day, and I want you. I want you every single way, and I need you. I need you every single day, and I want you. I want you every single way,
Morning, Mike.
Morning, Bill.
Morning.
Morning.
I think I might need some better brakes.
You need our Midas Secure Stop brake service.
Is that something new?
Brand spanking.
Really?
Yeah. Exceptional stopping power combined with the security of a 55-point brake inspection.
And the pads are lifetime guaranteed.
So next time this one...
That's why we call it Secure Stop.
Trust the Midas touch.
Show me what you tell me, now we sipping cold belly and we up inside the telly. Roll you jellies on your belly and that spread up on your pillow. Bobby all inside your middle. This got me flipping like hotcakes on the griddle.
Arby's $5 Roundup. Choose from your Arby's favorites like 2 popcorn chicken shakers or 3 beef and cheddars or 4 regular roast beefs for only $5. It's a great deal that'll have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's.
Playing for Peanuts, Sunday night at 7, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Some of your favorite Cubs players are headed for Universal Orlando Resort December 10th through the 14th, and you're invited. Join past and present Cubs players for private events at Universal Orlando's 2 amazing theme parks. Plus, enjoy an on-field baseball clinic at historic Jackie Robinson Ballpark. This exclusive vacation is available only through AAA Travel. Call 1-866-YOUR-AAA for details on how you can be part of the fun. Lance Cormier warming up, and he'll get as much time as he needs. Really couldn't pinpoint what was going on with Matt Albers, but he's out. Talking about how he has a rubber arm, able to bounce right back, and I'm sure the Orioles are concerned enough to take him out after just 5 hitters. While we have a moment, let's check in on the Coors Light freeze cam. On a play that originally was called a double, they later changed it to an error on Eric Patterson. A little miscommunication out here. Brian Terrio did what you're supposed to do, Bob, right? He waited until somebody called him off, and then Patterson just didn't make the catch.
Yeah, it was just perhaps a little overly enthusiastic on the part of Eric Patterson. The infielder is taught to go out and take anything he can get until he hears an outfielder call him off the ball. And as you said, Terrio did everything right. He got out there, made the call, was camped under the ball, and then Patterson came in at a dead run, tried to make that running catch, and was unable to come up with it.
So Burris never did start. Albers leaving after recording 1 out. And now it's Lance Cormier.
Yeah, Cormier, one of his main problems throughout his career has been his inability to consistently throw strikes. He doesn't give up a lot of base hits, but he does walk a lot of batters. Tell you right now, there's one guy down in that Cubs clubhouse or dugout that wishes he was active right now. That's Alfonso Soriano. Listen to these numbers, Len. Cormier retired him his first 2 times he faced him. Then Alfonso went single, single, double, single, single. Cormier figured something out, got him out 3 times in a row, and then Soriano went homer, triple, homer, homer, homer.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, Alfonso not available to the Cubs tonight, and Lance Cormier is grateful for that.
So Cormier appearing for the first time since Sunday, and he faces Soto with the bases full of Cubs. 1 ball, no strikes. Cubs will try to take advantage of Cormier not throwing strikes. He has walked 13 in 21 2/3 innings this year. Next one missed again. Good to have her pitch speed back. That was a fastball, 2-0. Lead runner is Derek Lee. Ramirez right behind him, and Jim Edmonds just walked. Topped off the plate foul. 2 balls and a strike. Cormier has a sign from Hernandez. One rattled around between the feet of the catcher. 3-1. I think there are 2 goals tonight, Bob. The first one's to win the game. The second one is to get out of here with no more injuries.
Yeah, really. And ideally, you don't start thinking that way as a ball club, but when the injuries start piling up, it's hard to avoid thinking about them. And when you try to play the game to not get hurt. That's usually when you get hurt. You just want to go out and play with your natural aggressiveness, play the game, do what you have to do to make a play or run the bases. As soon as you start trying to protect yourself against an injury, more often than not, that's when you get injured.
Kind of a strange vibe to start the night. 3-2 pitch. Kicks off the glove of Cintrone. Lee scores. Ramirez is going to be set. Cintrone picks up the ball to throw to the plate. Offline. Other runners move up as well. It's 3-0.
A hard hit one hopper right towards the ankles of Alex Cintrone. He goes down to the ground to try to knock it down. What a great send by Mike Quade right there. He knows that Alex Cintrone has had some elbow problems. He's not throwing as good as he probably should. Mike Quade's very familiar with that right elbow injury that Alex Cintrone had, and he did not hesitate to send a Ramos Ramirez on home, and he scored easily.
So that goes as a 2-run single for Soto, and he moved up a base on the throw to the plate. Still a chance to get more. 1-1 on Mark DeRosa.
I love seeing stuff like that, Len. I mean, that's just homework. You know, Mike Quade did his homework. He knows the arm strength of the Orioles outfielders and infielders. He saw where the ball was. Cintrone was running away from home plate.
A base hit in the right. Edmonds scores. Soto stops at third. 4-0. Good to see Soto and DeRosa come through. They've struggled a little bit lately. We mentioned Soto around 200 this month, and DeRosa went into that at bat 4 for his last 34.
Well, breaking ball on the outside corner wasn't hit hard, but it was hit in the right spot, just in front of Nick Markakis out there in right field. Keep the line moving.
Yeah, no kidding. This kind of feels like that big 4th inning against the White Sox. The only thing that's missing, the home run. They have 4 singles, a double, and a walk. The last 6 Cubs batters have reached base. Patterson struck out to start the inning. So good to give Ted Lilly a little cushion early on, and he's standing in the on-deck circle. Hopes to get an at bat here in the first. Yeah, they announced that umpire change after the ball game started. We certainly hope that Mike Winters is not suffering from some sort of injury or other malady. 2-2. It's Hudson behind the plate tonight. Cormier ready for a 2-2 pitch. Called strike 3 on a fastball for the second out.
Mike maybe thinking a little bit too much there. I talk all the time about how tough it is to be that 8-hitter in the line. A borderline pitch, but too close to take in a 2-strike count. When you know that pitcher is the next scheduled hitter and there is a base open, sometimes you can think yourself into a little mini slump up there at the plate. Tell yourself he's probably not going to give me anything too good to hit here with the pitcher in the on-deck circle, so make sure you get a good pitch to hit, and Mike ended up taking 3 good pitches.
Ted with 2 RBIs this year, 7 in his career. Smacks it foul the other way. Cormier's from Lafayette, Louisiana. Went to the University of Alabama. Was taken by the Diamondbacks in 2002 in the 4th round. Spent time with Arizona, the Braves, and now the Orioles. He's ahead in the count 1-2 on Lilly.
Yeah, Cormier pitched for me in 04 with the Diamondbacks. At least a little while. One of us left.
You left before he did.
Yeah.
Swing and the miss, and that ends the inning. Big first inning, however, for the Cubs. They get 4 runs, all charged to the starter Albers, who left due to injury, and it's 4-0 after 1.
My country, 'tis the sweet land of liberty, of the I see.
This 4th of July, the people of Southwest Airlines join the people of the United States of America as we celebrate our independence.
From every mountain side, let freedom ring.
You are now free to celebrate your birthday, America.
Dex, do you know of any laundromats around here?
13 within a 5-mile radius.
That take credit cards?
4. The 2 on Abbey Street will do your laundry for you. You might need both of them. I also know a good barber and a personal trainer. Ooh, and a good dating service.
Introducing DexKnows.com. With complete local info, comparisons, and maps, it's the smartest local search on the web. Visit DexKnows.com.
The great American holiday is coming, and here's something to celebrate. The Buick Pontiac GMC 72-hour sale. You only have 72 hours to declare your independence from interest payments for 6 full years with 0% financing for 72 months. Choose from thousands of Buicks, Pontiacs, and GMCs, like the G6 sedan. With an EPA estimated 30 miles per gallon on the highway, the Buick Pontiac GMC 72-hour sale. See your Buick Pontiac GMC dealer today.
Want to get real-time video highlights of your favorite team sent straight to your phone? Text Cubs alerts to MLB Go. That's 65246 on your AT&T wireless phone, and sign up for video alerts. Good first inning for the Cubs offense. They were able to get 4 runs versus a couple of Orioles pitchers. So Ted Lilly will start the second. He went 1-2-3, and he'll face Huff, Hernandez, and Scott. So 2 of the 3 hitters are left-handed. And it's great to have with us in the booth the new head baseball coach at Bradley University, Elvis Dominguez. Coach, congratulations.
Well, thank you.
You got the Bradley golf shirt on and ready to go.
I tell you what, I must be in the state of Illinois. I came up and everybody's been asking me where can I get a shirt, so obviously I know I'm in good hands, but it's been a whirlwind the last 24 hours for us. I'm really excited about the opportunity to be here.
Got to throw out a ceremonial first pitch before the ball game, and a lot of interesting connections here. Here's that first pitch tonight. You've known Jim Hendry for a while. You played for Jim while in high school in Miami.
Yeah, we go back many years. He's always been a big influence.
Aubrey Huff grounds out to the shortstop, Ryan Theriot. And you played for Jim not only in high school but in college as well. 4-year starter at shortstop at Creighton. You know Neri Fleta very well. Now, he played when you coached on that staff, right, in Creighton?
That's correct. That's correct. So we go back a couple years and got a lot of stories, but I don't think we can mention any of those on here. But yeah, our relationship goes back many years, and I've been blessed to be able to use them anytime, and I use them, you know, for questions. Obviously, when you're a young coach, anything that might come up. So they're a good resource, great resource to have.
Well, I'm sure you're well qualified for the job, but you're filling some big shoes. Dewey Coleman had been the head coach down there for, what, 30 years or something like
29
that?
years.
29 years, yeah.
So he was there as a legend, an institution himself.
This is Ramon Hernandez, a catcher, and he takes ball 1. So you were at Eastern Kentucky for 7 years, correct?
Correct. That's correct. And before that was the University of Iowa and Creighton before that.
you have a #1 draft pick this year?
Actually, he's right from over there. Pretty much from Evanston, Illinois. Christian Friedrich, who ended up going in the 25th pick in the first round to the Colorado Rockies. So he's right from here, this area.
Well, that has to be a big thrill for a head coach. Obviously, winning games and winning your conference or going to the College World Series is probably your biggest goal. But anytime you can get a player drafted that high out of your program, that's a feather in your cap.
I tell you, we've been very, very blessed the last couple of years. Josh Anderson, who's now with the Braves, is also a former player of ours down there. But obviously, Christian set the bar real, real high. And he had a tremendous career down there. And obviously, he's an Illinois kid, so it's really, really going to help open up some doors for us.
3-0 the count on Ramon Hernandez. Here's a pitch by Lilly, and that missed ball 4. So the Orioles have their first base runner. A 1-out walk here in the second. And some other players you recruited and coached ended up in the major leagues, and several former Cubs on that list.
Yeah, there was Chad Myers, who ended up playing here, played for us at Creighton University. And obviously that was a big thrill to come up here to Wrigley the first time and see him play up here. So that was really, really special.
Can you talk about the Bradley program, what you're inheriting, and what you hope to accomplish here in the near future?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'll find out a lot more here in the next couple days. I just got named yesterday, and I'll meet with Dewey here in the next Monday or Tuesday, and then we'll sit down and actually go over the players. But it's in good hands. Or he left it in a good position, and I'm sure I can, obviously I'll know more in a week or so.
Luke Scott batting. He had a couple of hits last night, including a 2-run triple. That's a strike. 0-1. So the Jim Hendry influence, having been coached by him and coaching with him, what have you taken from him in your career that is still there today?
Well, pretty much everything. I'll be honest with you. I mean, he's a tremendous mentor of mine, and I've been able to use him. And like I said before, and anything I pretty much do right now is because of him. And he's really been a great asset, like I mentioned before. So I'm really blessed, but I try not to copy anybody. But if it's somebody I need to copy, that's obviously somebody I wouldn't mind doing.
You picked a great mentor. Cubs vice president, general manager, with Elvis Dominguez, who knew Bradley, baseball coach, called strike. How long did the process take, as far as when you expressed interest in the job and when you were hired yesterday?
Everything happened obviously within the last week, to be honest with you. And once that came through, I got the phone call about a week ago, told me to come back. I was in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Next thing I know, I'm in Peoria, Illinois, and ever since this past Friday, it just started snowballing, and I got named yesterday. So I've been moving around quite a bit.
We're going to ask for your help too, Elvis, because Peoria is kind of on the border. There's some Cardinal fans there. There's a lot of Cub fans there. You need to convert those Cardinal fans.
Well, I tell you what, I found that out yesterday. They made it quite big and loud and clear that they actually have two teams down there. So
2-2 the count on Luke Scott. Runner at first, 1 out. We're in the second. A fly ball out into left. It'll bring Patterson in. And he has it. So 2 down.
Well, you got to throw out the first pitch tonight, and I would imagine you're going to throw out a lot of pitches in batting practice. That's one of the things a lot of people don't realize. The college coaches, they do all the dirty work.
All the dirty work, yeah. And obviously, I didn't know what I had left. I did get a ton of emails today from guys saying, "Coach, whatever you do, don't bounce it in the dirt, or you'll never hear the end of it." So, at least you saw it wasn't a strike, but it was, at least it was. I didn't bounce it.
Well, you will be the head coach in the same town where Ryan Sandberg, a Hall of Famer, is a manager.
I actually got a chance to meet him yesterday for the first time, and obviously when you meet somebody like that, you're in awe, obviously, from watching him play and everything else. But yeah, I got a chance to spend a couple minutes, and obviously we play in the same ballparks that the Chiefs do, so that's really a big thrill.
Well, what a great ballpark it is, O'Brien Field down there in Peoria. That's a great facility.
It is. It's tremendous. It's a great opportunity for our guys to be able to play in that kind of facility. And, Peoria's a baseball town, so we're hoping that we can get a lot of people in the seats with it.
2 strikes on Jay Payton. All 4 of his home runs have come off left-handers. Now, you're from Cuba, grew up in Miami. Who was your baseball hero growing up?
Well, I tell you what, I think if you ask any kid, for me it was Mickey Mantle. I mean, I'm still a Yankee fan, but that's the kind of guy that everybody looked up to. But You know, the Orioles used to work in Miami. That's where the spring training was when I was growing up. So I, used to go down there as a kid and watch, Palmer and Boddicker and all those guys. So big baseball town down there as well.
Lilly trying to put away Jay Payton. Hernandez still at first. He walked with 1 out. Still a little bit of sun on the field. Derek Lee shielding his eyes as he was looking at Lilly. That ball could go, and it will. A 2-run homer for Jay Payton. So all 5 of his home runs have come off southpaws, and it's now 4-2. We talked about Payton in the open, Bob. A lot of success against Lilly, and it continues here tonight.
8 for 17 lifetime now with a couple of home runs. Our Belvedere home run replay. Ted Lilly with a fastball outer third of the plate. Jay Payton's all over it. Real good plate coverage, and gets it up into the bleachers in left center field.
Here's Cintrone, the number 8 hitter, batting right-handed. And he takes ball 1. So as you talked about, you're going to familiarize yourself with the program, and then beyond that, the rest of the summer. When do the fall workouts and the like begin?
Well, they'll be starting up as soon as school starts for us because of the weather. So and recruiting never ends.
Recruiting never ends, that's for sure. Elvis Dominguez, the new head baseball coach at Bradley University. Thanks so much for stopping by. We wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure being here. Appreciate it.
4-2 Cubs.
Woke up in a hospital. First thing I remember, I was changed.
You have a calling. You're a superhero.
Life here can be difficult for me. I'm the only one of my kind.
Hancock is down. Looks hurt.
What has happened to me?
You have to leave. They're becoming mortal.
Hancock, rated PG-13.
Something in the way you move, little darling. Yes, it's something in the way you talk that make me realize there's something in the way you move.
The 2008 Volvo XC90 Special Edition SUV. Get together with yours at the Volvo Model Year-End event. Now's the best time to get an 08 Volvo. Event ends June 30th.
Coors Light. It's a frost-brewed beer. It starts with cold mountain water. It's brewed down as cold as 34 degrees. It's put in a can cold with a frost brew liner that protects that frost brewed taste. So when you want a cold, refreshing can of beer, grab a beer with a taste as cold as the Rockies. Because refreshment isn't everything. It's the only thing. Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Cubs baseball is brought to you in part by Kia Motors. Kia, the power to surprise. Rico, move your ideas forward with Rico dependability. And by Nissan and your Nissan dealer.
How would you like to be the featured 7th inning stretch singer at a Cubs game? Now is your chance. The Baby Ruth Ultimate 7th inning stretch competition will give one lucky fan the chance to be the guest conductor and lead the Wrigley Field crowd and take me out to the ball game. Fans can go to Cubs.com to get all the details and to register to be included in the Baby Ruth Ultimate 7th inning stretch competition. Don't miss your opportunity to show the world how much you love the Chicago Cubs. It's 4-2. We're only in the bottom of the second. Patterson, it's a bounding ball right at Brian Roberts. So one quick out. Cubs batted around. They sent all 9 to the plate in the first inning. Cormier in for Albers. We hope to get a report on why Albers had to leave. Again, we thank Elvis Dominguez, and we wish him the best at Bradley University. Ball 1 on Ontario. Cubs leading the division by 3.5. St. Louis is in second. The Brewers had their 4-game winning streak come to an end earlier today with a 4-2 defeat at Atlanta. So they're 5.5 out. It is raining in the top of the 5th at Comerica Park. The Cardinals led the Tigers at one time 4-2. Then they trailed 5-4. They just tied it in the 5th, and it's now raining. It'll be a base hit. You saw Markakis looked like he thought about maybe laying out for that ball, but then thought better of it if it got by him. Terrio probably ends up at third. But he's 2 for 2. That's his 30th multi-hit game.
That patented inside out swing producing a line drive to right field. I'm more shocked when Nick Markakis doesn't dive for a ball out there in right field. He's been a human highlight reel out there. I compared him to Reed Johnson defensively in the ball game last night. If he thinks he can get to it, normally he's not afraid to leave his feet.
Terrio's third in the National League with 30 multi-hit games. Chipper Jones going into action today with 32. Christian Guzman of the Nationals with 31. Cormier set, the kick and the pitch to lead. Swing and a miss. Last night the Cubs lost for the first time at home since May 17th. That kicks away. Terrio on his way to second base. He'll get in.
I'm sure that'll be a wild pitch, the first of the season for Cormier. Kind of a half-hearted effort by Ramon Hernandez. Just tried to reach out there and backhand that ball. It gets far enough away that Terrio feels confident advancing on to second base and puts himself into scoring position for Derek Lee.
Big swing by Derek, just got a piece of it. And it's 2-2. Cubs trailed 7-1 last night. They pulled to within 2. They had the bases loaded with no outs in the 9th, and George Sherrill, who did load them up, did something very few relievers have ever done. According to the Elias Sports Bureau, Sherrill became the 6th pitcher ever to notch a save by striking out the last 3 batters of the game, all with the bases loaded. The last pitcher to do it was Joe Nathan in 2005. And that's outside on Derek Lee, ball 4. Bob, it just looked like Sherrill last night saw his confidence go through the roof when he struck out Cedeno. He saw the light at the end of the tunnel. He then got Fukudome, and then he struck out Henry Blanco to end it.
What was particularly frustrating about that 9th inning after the Cubs loaded the bases was the fact Cedeno struck out on 2 pitches that were well out of the strike zone. Shoulder high off the plate away, and well, when you got a pitcher on the ropes, you really want to make him work a lot harder than that.
Outside corner for a strike on Aramis. That was the longest home winning streak for the Cubs since 1936. They still have the best home record in baseball at 32-9, and the best overall mark at 48-29. Here comes the 0-2. It's outside. Also last night, the White Sox ended their 9-game road losing streak. They beat the Dodgers. Gavin Floyd and Eric Stoltz a little bit later on at Dodger Stadium. Pulled in the left base hit. Terrio had to hold up to make sure it got through, and they're loaded up. Ramirez is 2 out of 2. Terrio, Lee, and Ramirez have all reached both times up.
Well, he may be a year older today, but that swing hasn't changed a bit. Clean line drive into left field. As you mentioned, Ryan Terrio had to make sure that ball got through. Took a quick stutter step back towards second base. No chance to score on that ball. Hit the left.
We're in a National League park, but I have a feeling this is going to turn into an American League game tonight. We've already seen a lot of offense. The Cubs lead 4-2. We're only in the second. They have them loaded with 1 out. And a 1-0 count on Jim Edmonds. Wind blowing out. A couple of teams that hit the home run ball. The Cubs with 88. 4th in the NL, and the Orioles tied for 4th with 83 in the American League. That missed badly, 2-0. And Jim Edmonds is not going to help him out. At least that's been his track record. Very patient hitter. Fouled back. 2-1.
That's his pitch right there. That ball up and out over the plate a little bit with that uppercut swing. We've seen him drive that ball to the opposite field with authority over the last couple of weeks.
And now Cormier steps off. Probably not a good sign for him, Bob. The first time through the order for Cormier since he came in. Just 2 first pitch strikes. A ground ball to Roberts. He'll spin, get the out at second base. No relay throw. Terrio scores the Cubs' 5th run. Edmonds will get an RBI. 5-2.
A nice play by Brian Roberts to get the lead runner at second base, but once again that balky elbow of Alex Cintrone comes into play. I thought they possibly had a play at first base right there, but Cintrone chooses to hang on to the baseball, not risk the throw to first in an effort to get Jim Edmonds.
Soto grounds it back up the middle, base hit. Lee scores 6-2. 3 RBIs and 2 at bats for Soto.
You can see the split of the middle infielders. Cintrone shading over toward the hole. Roberts playing straight away, leaving a big gap up the middle of the field. Once Giovanni got it past the pitcher Cormier, easy base hit into center field.
Breaker in there for a strike. 4 in the first, 2 more in the second. DeRosa, the 7th batter here in the second. The Cubs sent 9 to the plate in the first inning. Mark was ready for that ball to hit him, and it never did. He was ready to wince.
I've seen players start yelling before they get hit in anticipation of that bruise.
3-1.
where you have to go ninja. You got to turn invisible. Let the ball just kind of go right through you. There have been a few occasions when I was at the plate, and I don't know how I didn't get hit by a pitch. Yeah, you're sure it's coming right at you. You know you're going to take one for the team, and somehow the ball misses you.
There's ball 4. They're loaded up again. Oh, it's like that fender bender. You squeal on the brakes. You say, I'm going to hit this person in front of me, and you miss by about a half an inch. You say, how did I avoid that? Well, the Cubs are in a great spot offensively tonight. The starter Albers had to leave after recording just 1 out. They have Cormier on the ropes here in the second. I'm sure Rick Kranitz and Dave Tremblay are trying to figure out how they're going to get through this ball game, even with what was, when we started, a stock bullpen.
Oh, and those guys down there in the bullpen are well aware of what is developing here tonight at Wrigley Field. A strong offensive ball club, swinging the bats, working deep counts, and you're already on your second pitcher of the ball game, and we're only in the second inning.
Cintrone will fire to first. Huff covering. Fontenot's out. Cubs add 2, so they get the runs right back after the Peyton home run in the top of the inning. 6-2 after 2.
Of course Geico sponsors Mike's Race Car because they insure everything race car fans love. RVs, motorcycles, ATVs. Tell you one thing they can insure them. Lauren Wallace. Because Lauren Wallace is made of lightning. Those guys are like, hey, where's Lauren? He was just here a minute ago. I'm 100 miles away, son. Ready to strike.
Geico, saving you money on insurance for your car and the other stuff that moves you.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago.
At Cartridge World, our customers save hundreds, even thousands of dollars by having their printer cartridges refilled. Bring your printer cartridges to us and save as much as 50% off the price of a new one. Refilling cartridges is our only business. We are proud to say we have refilled over 250,000 cartridges, and because of our vast experience, we offer the highest quality refills available, 100% guaranteed. Making the world a more beautiful place, one ink cartridge at a time. Cartridge World. Color your world with Cartridge World.
The response has been so vocal, we're adding Subway $5 regular footlongs to the new Subway Everyday Value menu. We repeat, piled high $5 footlongs on the Subway Everyday Value menu. Not 2, not 4, but 8 mucho meaty footlongs, like the gourmet spicy Italian and the how can I eat all this meatball marinara. $5 footlongs on the Subway Everyday Value menu. It's music to your hunger.
Hey, Cub fans, Cubs games are now on Comcast Sportsnet on demand. Comcast customers go to digital channel 999, then look for Comcast Sportsnet and watch Cubs games on demand. Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Cubs games on demand, not available in all areas.
1-strike pitch to the pitcher, Cormier. Albers did not get an at-bat. Too high, 1-2. Bob, the Cubs are 6 for 10 with runners in scoring position. We've only played 2 innings. Swing and a miss. Cormier tagged out by the catcher Soto. First strikeout for Ted Lilly. He's given up just 1 hit. That was, however, a 2-run homer to Jay Payton in the second.
We talked about that this was the kind of night, given the style of pitcher that Ted Lilly is, that there's a chance he was going to give up a couple of long balls. You just hoped he didn't walk anybody ahead of those home runs, and unfortunately the walk to Ramon Hernandez did precede the Payton home run.
Back to the top end, Brian Roberts. On the Cubs in the community page, the notes tonight, Ted Lilly hosting young people from the Union Avenue Community Outreach Organization of Chicago. Charity providing homework help and after-school recreation. for children ages 8 to 18. Ted providing the children with autographs and lunch. Nice going, Ted. That's a gapper for Roberts, as his hitting streak now at 12 games, and he's at second base after a double. Doubles and triples, that's a specialty for Brian Roberts. And we mentioned he likes to steal third. Might not be as big an issue here with his team down 4, but you have to keep an eye on him at all times.
That's a big part of his game, his ability to steal bases and wreak havoc with his legs. Splits that gap out in right center. DeRosa kind of fanned on the backhanded attempt. With Roberts' speed, they weren't going to get him in second base anyway.
He has 6 triples. That leads the American League. Second coming in with 26 doubles, so give him 27 now. One of his triples came last night in game 1. Here's Markakis. He knocked in 2 in the opener. A big announcement today is Cubs closer Kerry Wood and his wife Sarah announcing the 5th annual Kerry Wood Strike Zone Celebrity Bowling Tournament, and it's coming up Wednesday, August 6th at 10 Pin Bowling Lounge. That's at 330 North State Street here in Chicago. Good curveball from Lilly. 0-2. So for more information, visit kerrywoodstrikezone.com. Net proceeds will benefit Organic School Project.
That's always a fun event. It's a lot of fun to see players out of their element. Certainly all these guys are very good athletes, but they're not all great bowlers. That's fun to watch.
Now Mark DeRosa is a good bowler. I mentioned recently he and Cliff Floyd went at it last year. So I'm sure Mark will be out. They have asked me to MC. I'm honored to do it. The Organic School Project strives to teach children the food cycle from farm to plate through an integrated wellness systems model. So it's for a good cause, and we hope to see you out there.
I'm real good with the plate to mouth part. The rest of it I'm a little sketchy on, so I could probably use a little background.
Sure, we all could.
Yep.
Kerry's bowling tournament has raised over $1.3 million to benefit Chicago's Children's Memorial Hospital and Derek Lee's Project 3000. It's a great event. So again, kerrywoodstrikezone.com for more information. Cubs will be at home that day against the Houston Astros. So hopefully after a nice win here, maybe Kerry will strike out 3 in the 9th to get it done, shower up and head over for the tournament. We'd like to see Ted get out of this inning. Even though the Cubs lead by 4, he has some cushion here, but you don't want to give the Orioles any reason to believe that he could be in this one tonight. Now, the wind blowing out, certainly no team's going to be out of it. 3-2 on Markakis. That was a close pitch.
Breaking ball just hung up inside just enough that it didn't get back to that inside corner. Markakis kind of got caught in between whether to swing to protect the plate or take the pitch and hope it was off the plate, and that time he got lucky.
Three-two on the way, and he stays alive. Now, Bob, you've talked in the past about that lead at second base. Some runners will go out, not right in the baseline. They'll go out of the baseline to get a better angle coming around third. Brian Roberts, a base stealer. He has pretty much a straight line between second and third.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to tell which guys feel they're base stealers, because that's the shortest line is the direct route from second to third. So he leads off right in the baseline just in case he gets a jump and decides he wants to steal third base.
Another 3-2, and Markakis walks.
In just about every other situation, however, you'd prefer to have your base runner 2 or 3 steps behind the baseline, taking his secondary lead. That gives him a better angle to round third base and score on a base hit.
So with the lead Roberts is taking, now does that mean then if on a base hit he's actually going to have to take another maybe step to angle around third base?
Well, you either angle before you get to the bag at third, or you
after.
take that big wide turn around third base and try to get back into the baseline. But Brian Roberts is such a good base runner. I'm sure he can change directions quickly, hit that bag, and change his momentum right down that third baseline.
Now in the computer baseball game I play, they just run directly to third, take a quick turn, and go straight home. They don't round the bag at all. Human beings can't do that.
They don't have base running coaches in those computer games. That's what it is.
Mora flied out to end the first. Oh for 4 last night. He was hit by a pitch and then he was caught stealing. Had a really rough game at the plate on Sunday at Milwaukee. He went 0 for 5. He left 8 men on base. And struggle here lately against lefties. Now the 1-1 hit foul. 1-2.
Ted Lilly got away with one right there, a slider that was up in the zone, up and out over the plate. With the wind blowing the way it is tonight, you want to try to keep the ball down whenever possible. Flat slider up above the belt. Fortunately, Mora just a little tardy that time, fouled it straight back.
Fontenot's out in the outfield grass, drifting, and he has it. So 2 away, and it brings up Aubrey Huff. Normally he's their DH, but he has to play first base tonight to get in the lineup. Aubrey Huff got into some hot water in the offseason when he made some disparaging comments about the city of Baltimore on a satellite radio show. Kind of carried over into the season. He was booed at home early on, even though he said he made a mistake. He wore an I Love Baltimore shirt at the team's fan fest before opening day. Didn't hear all the comments. And again, he said he made a mistake. And you know very well we're in a day and age now where you can't say something and assume that somebody somewhere else around the world is not going to hear it. You have to assume everything you say, whether you're kidding or not, can be transmitted all over the globe in a moment's notice.
And possibly misinterpreted, you know.
Sure.
Of course, I mean, just by its very nature, satellite radio, you got to figure that a lot of people are going to hear what you say. It's not like it was the campus radio station where you have to plug into the dorm outlets to even get the thing. This is satellite radio. Everybody's going to hear it.
1-1. And therefore strike 1 and 2. I'm sure I don't have to tell you. I'm sure you read the paper at one time when you were managing and you read one of your quotes and you're thinking, that is not what I meant.
Oh, yeah. When I was referring to Cub fans at Bank One Ballpark in Arizona, I wish they'd just go back to Wrigley, you know, and I said it with a laugh, and the beat writers were laughing along with me. But when it shows up in print and you don't put the context of what was said, you know, people at home reading it, it sounded like I was taking a shot at the Cub fans, which I absolutely was not. But that's the way it came out in the newspaper. And the next day, I gladly invited all the Cub fans to come out to the ballpark. We're glad to have you.
Kick in the 1-2 off the end of the bat and in the air. Patterson back on it. makes a catch, and the inning is over. A double and a walk with 1 out, but no runs. It's 6-2 Cubs after 2.5.
Where we come from, high gas prices are nothing new. Perhaps that's why BMW offers more vehicles that average at least 28 miles per gallon than any other luxury automaker. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Lease a BMW 328i for $399 a month or take advantage of 3.9% finance.
Save big money on your weekend projects at Menards. All Scotch Blue Painter's Tape is on sale. Painter's Tape provides sharp paint lines and removes easily without leaving residue. Use around baseboards, doors, and windows for great results. It's all 15% off. Brighten your walls this weekend with Dutch Boy DuraClean paint, a premium interior paint that features a lifetime guarantee and a finish that stays clean. On sale just $17.88 a gallon. Eggshell, satin, and semi-gloss are also on sale.
Save big money at Menards.
We've come to this island, and you'll never believe what we found. The internet. Seems it can't hide here either. Simply insert the AT&T Laptop Connect card, and you're connected at mobile broadband speeds. Email business proposals, access your customer database, all on the go. I'm Bill Curtis, and I've just found the internet.
The internet can't hide anymore. Get the AT&T Laptop Connect card for free and work in more places worldwide than anyone else.
Hi there, Mark and Pat along the way. Coming up on Land Rover Sports Night, highlights and clubhouse reaction from Wrigley.
Plus, we'll hear from both Derrick Rose and Michael Beasley on the eve of the NBA draft. It's all after Cubs postgame live.
Pledge your allegiance to the Cubs by becoming a member of the Cubs Club, the official online fan club for the Chicago Cubs. Cubs Club members will get benefits unavailable to other fans, including your very own 2008 membership card, MLB.com's game day audio for the 2008 regular season, and much more as Ted Lilly starts the Cubs third with a base hit to right. So visit Cubs.com, where baseball is always on. Good to see Ted Lilly on base.
6th hit of the season for Ted Lilly. He jumps on that first pitch and lines it through the right side. He had a good round of batting practice today. It doesn't always translate into success during the course of the ball game, but Ted was hitting a few home runs out into the bleachers in right field this afternoon.
Inside on Patterson. Eric 0 for 2. Mike Fontenot's 0 for 2. Everybody else in the lineup has at least 1 hit. 3 Cubs have 2 hits. Lee has reached both times. Soto has 3 RBIs. I was driving in and I heard a soundbite. Mark DeRosa was on a radio show today talking about how with a team playing so well, that hit the foot of Patterson, so it's foul. He said, I'm not going to be the guy who's going to complain about my struggles. And while everybody wants to contribute on a night like this, the key is to win. I mean, you can put up a 12 or a 14 spot. You don't want to be the one guy to go 0 for 5. But this is a team, Bob, where everybody's been happy, and if you go 0 for 5 but you win, it doesn't matter. That's the way it should be.
Ted Lilly was thinking about stealing second base right there with Aubrey Huff playing behind him. He tried to time Cormier's delivery and get a walking lead towards second base. Unfortunately, Cormier stepped off to stop him in his tracks over there at first base. I like that, though. Ted Lilly's always thinking. In that respect, he's a lot like Greg Maddux. He pays a lot of attention to the game. He understands that being a pitcher, a lot of opposing pitchers are going to ignore him over there at first base. Tries to take advantage of every edge you give him.
And speaking of Mark DeRosa, any chance we get to show this again, take advantage. Julianne Hough teaching him some dance moves before the ball game last night. He can bowl, he can dance, he can do it all. He's a pretty good baseball player too. His foul on the 3-2. Back to the topic, though, of individual versus team success or failure. I've been in clubhouses where it's noticed when a team is doing well and a guy in particular is not, and he's maybe not as happy as everybody else is.
Or he's downright gloomy. Yeah, I've seen it happen many times, and ideally a member of the team, one of his teammates, straightens out that situation.
Lilly was going on the pitch. It was taken for ball 4.
When you're the one that's slumping, it's hard to realize that over the course of 162 ball games, every dog is going to have his day. Everybody's going to be the man for a while. And the other side of that coin is everybody's going to have to take their lumps at some point. That's just the nature of baseball. And a lot of times it's the younger players who don't understand the rhythms and cycles of the game, and if they're not doing well, even if the team is winning, they tend to get tunnel vision a little bit and worry about their own problems more so than how can I help the team even if I'm not hitting.
And then you have the other side of it. And I know Andre Dawson was not happy about the 1987 season. We know Hawk, and if the team struggled, he was not happy. But how'd you like to be an MVP candidate on a last place team? You can't walk around like it's been a great time at the ballpark.
You can't really enjoy the success that you've had as an individual because of the struggles of your team.
Terrio lifts that ball into short right, and a running catch by Markakis for out number 1. Here's Derek Lee. More base runners for the Cubs tonight. They sent 17 to the plate over the first 2 innings. Off the pitcher. Throw will go to first, and a nice play by Cormier to get Derek Lee.
Not sure if that got Cormier in the rear end or knocked it down with his glove, but has the presence of mind to stay with it, chase that ball down, and toss on in time to get Derek Lee at first base.
Ramirez started the night at 301. He's now up 6 points. Dave Tremblay at one time managed a few of the current Cubs in the minor leagues. Kerry Wood and Ryan Terrio, for instance. Ryan had a lot of good things to say about Dave Tremblay. Hit foul off to the right. We're only in the 3rd inning, and the Cubs have had 12 at bats with runners in scoring position, and they've come up with 6 hits.
Wow.
Low and inside. Still raining in Detroit. Cardinals and the Tigers tied at 5-5. Way inside. It's a rematch of the World Series a couple of years ago, going back to the '68 World Series as well. See, you have the Yankees in Pittsburgh for the first time since the 1960 World Series. San Francisco and Cleveland, first time since a '54 Fall Classic. Long throw by Mora. He made it look easy as he gets the out, and for the first time the Cubs do not score. They lead 6-2 after 3.
Here I am on E-Trade, about to buy my first stock online.
What are you waiting for?
Pull the trigger, Mr. Chang.
Daddy, 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 Daddy.
Get all the help you need, online, by phone, in person. There are 1,000 new accounts a day at E-Trade.
Why is the Toyota Tundra Motor Trend's 2008 Truck of the Year? Because Tundras. Why is Tundra the full-size pickup that's easy on your budget? Because Tundras. And it's built by Toyota, the leader in fuel efficiency. Lease a new 2008 Toyota Tundra for $329 a month or get 0% APR for 60 months. Toyota Tundra. Find out more at whytundra.com.
You're a little legal. Where am I? Can you read what this says?
Every 32 minutes in America, someone dies in a drunk driving crash. In Illinois, nearly 600 people each year. Someone's mom, someone's brother, someone's best friend. Want to drink and drive? Bad decision. 50,000 DUI arrests each year in Illinois, one every 10 minutes. Still think we're not serious? This holiday season, police in Illinois are cracking down with roadside safety checks and DUI patrols. If you drink and drive, they will find you. If you drink and drive, you lose.
Friday, rivals collide on the south side as Carlos Quentin and the White Sox battle Dean Lee and the Cubs in a Windy City brawl. Coverage starts with Chevy Crosstown Preview. Cubs White Sox in HD, Friday at 2 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Time now for tonight's Aflac trivia question. True or false? Dave Tremblay is the only current Major League manager to have not played any pro baseball. Excellent question. Dave Tremblay in the background. Cubs 6, Orioles 2. We get into the fourth now. It's Ramon Hernandez against Ted Lilly. Outside corner. Strike one. Tell you, Dave Tremblay had a bizarre day last August 22nd. First an 0-1 pitch. Now 0-2. After having his contract extended a year, his team went out, got swept by Texas in a doubleheader. They lost game one, 30-3. That was the Orioles' largest margin of defeat ever. And to think Baltimore actually led that ball game 3-0.
Oh,
that started a 9-game losing streak. Good start to the fourth for Ted Lilly as he strikes out Hernandez.
And that was the first game of a doubleheader?
Yeah.
Oh, my. Good off-speed pitch gets Hernandez to chase a ball down low out of the zone.
Should be one of the happiest days of your life. Spent 2 decades managing in the minor leagues. Take over on an interim basis. Then you have your contract extended a year. You know you're coming back. And you go out and you lose 30-3. It's a humbling game.
Boy, that's for sure.
I'm sure he called Andy MacPhail after the game and said, "We're still good, right?" Called his lawyer, his agent. "I signed, right? We're good for next year."
It's on file with MLB, isn't it?
Good timing. Dave Tremblay signing that deal.
Yeah, I'm sure some of the beat writers probably had fun with that too. The players can't play for this guy, obviously. You know, he signs the extension. They get beat by 27 runs.
Well, Tremblay can probably laugh about it now, but I don't think he was smiling too much after that doubleheader sweep. Think about the emotions you go through. I'm sure they had a news conference. Again, maybe one of the biggest days of your professional life, and then you go out and you get smoked.
Just think about what that probably did to the bullpen in game one, and you still have 9 more innings to go.
A ball and 2 strikes on Luke Scott. Big slow wind up by Lilly. Pop foul out of play. No decision for Ted in his last outing against the White Sox. That was Friday. Went into the 7th, 6 2/3, gave up 3 runs. All the runs came on 2 home runs. Same tonight. He's given up 2 runs on 1 home run. Fontenot will go out, but he won't get it. That's a bloop single for Scott. And now it's Payton who hit that home run back in the 2nd inning. Little tweak in the rotation coming up this weekend. Ryan Dempster will pitch on normal rest Friday afternoon against the White Sox on the south side. We'll have that game for you right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Big day of programming. It's smack deep to right. DeRosa is going to watch it go, and Jay Payton has hit 2 2-run homers. It's now 6-4. So give him 3 career home runs against Lilly. Well, that ball got out in a major hurry.
And that's uncharacteristic of Jay Payton. Normally his power is to his pull field, left field, where he hit the first home run, but this time takes a pitch up and out over the plate, hits a line drive into the bleachers in right field. You can see where Gio was reaching for that ball, belt high out over the plate. Payton gets the barrel of the bat on it, and with the conditions here tonight, it doesn't take much to get it out of here. Well, the wind has died down considerably since the ball game started, but still very much a hitter's night here at Wrigley. (2-0) on Cintrone. So Dempster Friday. Sean Gallagher will come back on Saturday. Sean is available again tonight in the bullpen. Sean Marshall will pitch Sunday night. And before our pregame festivities at U.S. Cellular Field on Friday, we'll bring you a game from May 30th, the big comeback, an encore performance as the Cubs came back, erased an 8-run deficit and beat the Rockies. Cintrone grounds out. Pinch hitter now for Cormier. It is infielder Oscar Salazar who will pinch hit. Two for 5 with a home run as a pinch hitter this season. Overall a .267 hitter with a couple of home runs, only 15 at bats on the season.
Caught the edge, 1 strike. So join us at 11:30 a.m. Friday for the Cubs and the Rockies from Wrigley Field on May 30th. And then following that, all the pregame coverage. First pitch will be thrown just after 3 o'clock on the south side. Lilly's 0-2. Slow roller right at Fontenot. Up with it. He throws him out. The inning is over. It's been all Jay Payton for the Orioles tonight. He has 2 2-run homers. He's keeping them in the ball game. It's 6-4 now.
When a major hospital wanted to add on to their benefits package at no direct cost to the company, their very first word was Find out more at forbusiness.com.
Show me what you tell me, now we sipping cold belly and we up inside the telly. Roll you jellies on your belly and that's spread up on your pillow. Bobby all inside your middle. This got me flipping like hotcakes on the griddle.
I need you. I need you every single day and I want you. I want you every single way and I need you. I need you every single day and I want you. I want you every single way and it's love. It's love. It's love. It's la 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 la. It's love. It's love. It's love. It's la 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 la. It's love.
The David Bruce Auto Center sells more new and used cars than anyone in the area. Hello, I'm Bruce Dickstein, and here are some reasons why.
A new 08 Pontiac G6 20th anniversary priced for only $14,988, and a new 08 Pontiac Grand Prix for only $18,775.
Remember, no one in the area sells more or gives you more for your trade.
And if credit has been a problem, see David Bruce for a second chance.
Great to see the Menards grounds crew, and congratulations to contest winner Andy Finlayson of Lindenhurst, Illinois, helping out tonight. So the lead is down to 2. It's 6-4. We'll see how the Cubs do against right-hander Ryan Buckvidge, former member of the White Sox. He takes over after Cormier went 2 2/3. The starter Albers only went 1/3 of an inning.
Buckvidge pitched in 45 ball games for the White Sox last summer. Total of 35 2/3 innings, 36 base hits. Struck out 18 but walked 24, so very much like Lance Cormier, the pitcher that preceded him for the Orioles, a guy that occasionally has trouble finding that zone.
He's been a Royal, a Ranger, a White Sox, and now an Oriole. He was born in Naperville, Illinois, went to high school in Brandon, Mississippi. Attended Ole Miss. And he's 1-0 on Jim Edmonds. Got to keep pushing offensively tonight. Orioles are down only 2. High deep drive by Jim Edmonds, and it will just get into the basket. A home run for Edmonds. 7-4. That's his 7th home run, and his 6th as a Cub.
Our Belvedere home run replay. Jim Edmonds, his 6th as a member of the Cubs, in only 82 at bats, I believe, if I'm adding correctly here. Let me take a look again just to make sure. Yeah, 82 at bats as a member of the Cubs, 6 home runs.
His 6th home run in his last 20 games. Morrow will gobble it up, and Soto is retired. Time to answer the Aflac trivia question. True or false? Dave Tremblay is the only current major league manager to have not played any pro baseball. I wonder if Trey Hillman might be on that list. Oh, I think it's true. Okay. As DeRosa pops it up out into left center. I think John Bowles, former manager of the Florida Marlins, did not have any pro playing experience.
When you manage as many games as Dave Tremblay has in the minor leagues, you know, being a former player is not really a requirement. It possibly might buy you a little credibility with some of your players. They can look at your bubblegum card and see that you actually played in a major league game, but I don't think it's a requirement by any stretch.
Trey Hillman played for 3 seasons in the minors, after being selected by the Cleveland Indians as a shortstop in '85. So he had a little time in the minors. Mike Fontenot goes deep to right. Markakis going after it. It's going to bang off the wall, and it'll be a double for Mike. Well, that's his first hit tonight.
Fontenot just misses a home run into the gap in right center field. A pitch up and out over the plate. He pulls it back to his power field, and it's about halfway up the wall out there in right center field.
All right, according to the Orioles media guide, Tremblay, the 7th man in modern baseball history to manage in the majors without having played professionally in the majors or the minors. So others on that list: Ted Turner with the Braves in 1977. John Bowles, as I mentioned, Carlos Tosca with the Blue Jays. Oh, 0-2 on Lilly. Good heat from Buckvich at 96.
Ted Lilly may have to go to his opposite field stroke here against a 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
Ted Turner, by the way, went 0-1 in 1977 as a Braves manager, in case you're wondering.
I don't remember exactly what led to Ted Turner walking out of the owner's box and putting on a uniform and taking over the Braves for one day, but Major League Baseball very quickly said, no, no, no.
Up the middle, Centrone won't be able to make a play. Mike Quaddy was trying to send Mike Fontenot, but it didn't look like Fontenot picked him up.
I'll tell you, Len, that's a common mistake that players make in the game. Rather than pick up the coach and trust his judgment on what's going on behind you, Mike Fontenot tries to turn around and see what's going on. But just the timing of when he looked back over his shoulder and when the ball got away from Centrone. He's running right there. Took one peek and he saw Centrone in a position to make the play, so he started to break it down. In the meantime, Mike Quaddy saw the ball get away from Centrone. But by then, Fontenot was taking a second peek back to center field and didn't pick up the sign from the third base coach.
Got an update on Matt Albers. He left with right shoulder discomfort. I think that's what they called Carlos Zambrano's injury last week. He will be reevaluated in Baltimore. Albers, again, recorded just one out.
That right shoulder discomfort is kind of an all-encompassing diagnosis until they can get Matt Albers in to see the team physician and run some of the appropriate tests. For some guys, a sunburn is right shoulder discomfort. For other guys, they pitch with a torn rotator cuff and a frayed labrum and they call it discomfort. So I'm sure the Orioles are hoping for good news for Matt Albers.
1-2, swing and a miss. Patterson strikes out. Edmonds led off the inning, however, with a home run. And the Cubs now lead 7-4 as we go to the fifth.
People think life in California is one big vacation, but it's really a lot of work.
We have board meetings.
Lots of board meetings.
We're always playing catch up.
We're really just a bunch of pencil pushers.
We burn the midnight oil.
Hey, it's a dirty job.
Someone's got to do it.
So if California seems like your kind of work,
when can you start?
Find yourself in California. With over 95 daily flights from Chicago Midway to cities in California, Southwest Airlines is taking low fares farther.
You're now. If you need to tow it, Quad City Spring has it. Quad City Spring is the area's suspension, spring, truck accessory, and towing experts. From goosenecks and fifth wheels to every kind of hitch imaginable, including Blue Ox base plates and tow bars, strong as an ox. And Quad City Spring installs and services everything they sell. So tow it right. Get your ride to Quad City Spring. Quad City Spring, 34th Street at River Drive in Moline.
If it's got a motor. That's our slogan here at Clinton Motor Works. And what's it mean? Well, we have one of the area's best selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, vans, SUVs. Oh yeah, and the cruising coolers. How great is that? A 13-mile-an-hour cooler to ride. Just another reason to stop in and see what's going on. Now let's talk warranty. We have the area's only lifetime engine warranty on most all the vehicles we sell. That's right, your engine blows, you get it fixed for free. That's why people do business with us. For your next great sales and finance experience, we'll see you soon at Clinton Motor Works.
If it's got a motor.
You're watching the home of the Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, and White Sox, Comcast Sportsnet. Cubs baseball is brought to you in part by Aflac. Ask about it at work. And by the Toyota Tundra. Visit whytundra.com to find out why the Toyota Tundra is a great way to keep moving forward.
Are you ready for an outrageous, zany, and unpredictable night at Wrigley Field? Come join Harry Canary, Clammy Sosa, and the Superstars, along with Bert Zerk, on July 29th as the Peoria Chiefs host the Kane County Cougars in the Road to Wrigley, presented by National City. Don't miss out on the chance to see these crazy characters in action. To order tickets, visit Cubs.com today.
Crazy and wacky and zany. Sounds like a good night.
One strike on Roberts, top of the order for the Orioles. We're in the 5th inning. Cubs have 12 hits through 4. I'm not good at math, but that's 3 hits per inning.
Pretty good. That's pretty good.
Get out my calculator.
You know who would have loved this, Len, and this brings me to my this date in baseball history. Back in 1950, the Cubs beat the Phillies 11-8, and Hank Sauer had 2 home runs and 2 doubles in that ball game. Hank Sauer was my hitting instructor in the minor leagues with the San Francisco Giants. Had a great career here in his time in Chicago. Was the most valuable player back in 1952 when he had 37 homers and 121 RBI.
A rainbow to left. And Eric Patterson has it. Was there anything in particular that stood out as far as his teaching style, and one thing that he liked to teach that you remember?
Absolutely. He espoused a hitting style that was kind of unorthodox, but everything about it was mechanically correct. He liked guys who use a flat bat, and by that I mean as you stand there and take your stance at the plate, a lot of hitters nowadays, the barrel of the bat is pointed toward the pitchers. Some guys it's straight up and down. He liked to see the bat laid back flat toward the umpire. He said that's the position you're going to get into when the bat comes through the strike zone. Why not start with a flat bat?
So he would have liked Albert Pujols.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He liked a guy to get up on his front toe of his stance, because that almost guaranteed that your weight was back onto your backside. And he was a very big proponent in confidence. He used to walk around the minor league fields down in Casa Grande, and he would ask you, "Kid, can you hit?" And you had to give him the same answer every time, and I'll clean it up since I know we have some children watching tonight, but you bet your sweet rear end I can. That's what you had to answer Hank Sauer with if he asked you if you could hit.
1-2 on Nick Markakis.
Hank passed back in 0-1, but boy, he had a huge effect on a lot of careers in his days as a hitting coach with the San Francisco Giants.
288 career home runs for Hank Sauer. Signed originally by the Yankees in 1937. Played in the majors with the Reds, Cubs, Cardinals, Giants, both in New York and in the first 2 years in San Francisco.
15-year major league career, and his average season was 33 homers, 101 RBI. Big time power hitter.
Well, this is just a survival night for both pitching staffs. Conditions certainly benefiting the hitters. Ted Lilly working up a big sweat. He has a career high 2 hits at the plate as Markakis flies out to Edmonds. Again, I hate to go back to the American League National League comparison, but this is a kind of night where your ERA might go up, but all that matters is that W.
Really, that's the only thing that matters is wins and losses, and that's the only thing a pitcher can't really control at all. He can go out there and pitch well enough to win a ball game, give his team a chance to win a ball game, but if they don't make plays behind him, if they don't score runs for him, that's totally out of a pitcher's control.
Well, this definitely has an AL pace tonight. Check out the league stats. The National League had been a little bit better offensively to start the season. Here's interleague play in the American League dominating so far. They're going into action tonight. Pitch to Mora. A strike 1 and 2. The National League slugging percentage is .410 in the American League .409. The on-base percentage a little higher in the AL. It's pulled foul by Mora. But you would normally always expect the offensive numbers to be better in the American League because they have 9 position players in the lineup.
Well, 9 hitters.
9 hitters, right. I guess the DH wouldn't be a position on the field necessarily. It'd be in the dugout.
And some of the guys who fill that DH role, it'd be hard to refer to them as players because basically all they do is hit. I think back to a former teammate of mine with the Giants, later went on to have a great career in the American League, Chili Davis. Towards the end of his career, he didn't even own a baseball glove. He was a DH.
Foul tip, strikeout. And Lilly goes 1, 2, 3 for the first time since the opening inning. We're halfway home. Cubs 7, Orioles 4.
Don't let the gentle sway fool you. This is high country barley. It's found here, where the air is crisp and the soil is rich. Perfect for growing full-bodied barley, giving Coors that full-flavored taste, savored by generations since 1873. It's the way they like it. It's the way we like it. And neither one of us is much for compromising. Coors, the banquet beer.
Ever since there were cars, Americans have had a love affair with the open road. And with quality gasoline and pay-at-the-pump convenience coast to coast, Valero is your perfect travel companion. Valero, the all-American gasoline for the all-American love affair.
The great American holiday is coming, and here's something to celebrate. The Buick Pontiac GMC 72-hour sale. You only have 72 hours to declare your independence from interest payments for 6 full years with 0% financing for 72 months. Choose from thousands of Buicks, Pontiacs, and GMCs, like the G6 sedan. With an EPA estimated 30 miles per gallon on the highway, the Buick Pontiac GMC 72-hour sale. See your Buick Pontiac GMC dealer today.
From the Comcast Sportsnet studios, it's a GMC Sports Update.
Hi, everyone. Chris Bowden with you. A quick program reminder that we are your best home for NBA draft coverage tomorrow at 6. Our Bulls draft preview sets things up, including a live report from New York. And Bulls draft spotlight at 9:30 recaps the draft with an interview at the top pick and looking ahead to what is next for the Bulls. That's tomorrow, and that's basketball. But now back to Wrigley. Lots more baseball to go with Len and Bob.
Chris, thanks. It's been a crazy night here at the ballpark. 7-4 the Cubs lead. Kosuke Fukudome was a late scratch. He has some tightness in his left calf muscle, but we're told that is not deemed as a serious injury. So he's day-to-day, might be back in the lineup tomorrow.
Well, we certainly hope so. I did see Kosuke take a little batting practice earlier today. He kind of abbreviated the BP session, came back into the clubhouse. Didn't appear to be limping excessively or anything like that, so you hope it's just a day-to-day thing.
Brian Burris, who was supposed to start for the Orioles, had a stomach ailment, so he was scratched. And then Matt Albers, who filled in for him, left after recording 1 out with right shoulder discomfort as Terrio grounds out. Kosuke watching his teammates pile up 12 hits and 7 runs through 4. Derek with 2 runs tonight.
Another interesting little note. You may find this interesting, Len. You like stats and you like unusual things. Back in 1991, The Mets beat the Phillies 5-1 in a 9-inning game and did not record an assist. Only the second time it had ever happened in a major league 9-inning game. The 1945 Indians also had a game where they did not record an assist.
Lofted to Peyton. Do we know who started?
Well, we could probably find it.
You'd have to assume there were a lot of fly balls.
A lot of fly balls, strikeouts.
Strikeouts, sure. Two down, it's Ramirez. Swung on and missed. Sean Chacon has been suspended by the Houston Astros. Not quite clear why, but he apparently was upset after being dropped from their rotation and moved to the bullpen Sunday. 2-3 with a 5.04 and 15 starts. Remember, he set a major league record, had 9 straight no decisions to start the year. I think he broke that streak with a win against the Cubs.
I think you're right.
So he has been suspended by the Astros. He beat Sean Gallagher on May 21st for his first win. And Hernandez held on as Ramirez foul tips and strikes out. The Cubs go down 1-2-3 for the very first time all night. 7-4 to the 6th.
This is the story of a single piece of wood, separated and taken to different places, where each piece is shaped, honed, and polished, only to be sent back to end the way they began, as one perfectly matched piece. Visit your Lexus dealer today for an exclusive look at how nothing else is built like a Lexus ES. Lease the 2008 ES for $389 a month for 36 months with $3489 due at signing.
Who says the world isn't a pretty great place? Maybe those people just need to look a little closer. Because if you really look, you'll see a place that is good and kind. A place where a smile can change everything. That's why we do more than just connect calls. We believe in connecting people. U.S. Cellular. Believe in something better.
The clock is ticking. Who will it be? Tomorrow, Comcast Sportsnet will have all the answers with crews live from Madison Square Garden and complete analysis and reaction. See the Bulls prepare for a new era. Tomorrow night beginning at 6 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Get Chicago's sports news nightly on Land Rover's Sports Night. Coming up tonight after Cubs post-game live, a preview of tomorrow's NBA draft. The Bulls with the #1 pick. Plus a full recap of this one. Join Mark and Pat for Land Rover's Sports Night tonight after Cubs post-game live, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. Ted Lilly working with a 7-4 lead here in the 6th. Trying to improve to 7-2 lifetime versus the Orioles. Huff goes the other way and he'll be retired by Patterson. 6 in a row sent down by Lilly. Huff is 0 for 3. And it brings on Ramon Hernandez. Well, a great day in Cooperstown. We were there recently. Would have been nice to be there today. Jackie Robinson received a new plaque that honors not only his great baseball career, but the cultural impact he had on the game of baseball and this country in general. The last sentence on the new plaque said, quote, or will say, quote, displayed tremendous courage and poise in 1947 when he integrated the modern major leagues in the face of intense adversity. Deep to right, but playable for DeRosa. 2 gone. Hernandez is out. Jackie's widow Rachel was there today. They added Jackie under his full name, Jack Roosevelt Robinson. Rachel and her daughter Sharon were there, and about 200 fans as well. The original plaque was unveiled in 1962 when he went into the Hall of Fame. And there was no mention of Robinson breaking the color barrier in baseball, but that has been added now.
You know, Len, it's my understanding that there were African Americans that played Major League Baseball before Jackie Robinson, but they lied and forged their birth certificates to make people believe they were Hispanic, which Hispanics were allowed to play in the major leagues at that point. So a couple of guys kind of came in under the radar, but certainly Jackie Robinson was the trailblazer, the guy that was the point man, and certainly took more than his share of abuse as he got his career started and went on to become a great player.
The 1-2 pitch to Scott, lined over Aramis Ramirez, and that's a base hit. Just wanted to add, reading the story here, the Hall of Fame chairman Jane Forbes Clark said that in 1962 when Robinson went in, he told the writers who considered his candidacy that they should only consider his playing ability. So I guess that's why there was nothing on the plaque about him breaking the color barrier. Now Jay Payton, and he bats again with a runner on base. He has already hit 2 two-run homers. Fastball is a little low.
Well, we've seen his power to left. We've seen his power to right field. Make him hit it to center.
Chased there, 1-1. Well, the Menards big lumber stat. Be too easy to call Wrigley Field Peyton Place. It's a very old reference, so I apologize to those who have no idea what I'm talking about, and those who do as well.
Pretty much covers it.
Yeah, I apologize to everybody. Just had to say. This is Ramirez, and he'll throw to second. They get the force on Scott, and the inning is over. Bottom 6 coming up. The Cubs lead by 3.
The great American holiday is coming, and here's something to celebrate. The Buick Pontiac GMC 72-hour sale. You only have 72 hours to declare your independence from interest payments for 6 full years with 0% financing for 72 months. Choose from thousands of Buicks, Pontiacs, and GMCs, like the G6 sedan. With an EPA estimated 30 miles per gallon on the highway, the Buick Pontiac GMC 72-hour sale. See your Buick Pontiac GMC dealer today.
Friday, rivals collide on the south side as Carlos Quentin and the White Sox battle D. Lee and the Cubs in a Windy City brawl. Coverage starts with Chevy Crosstown Preview. Cubs White Sox in HD, Friday at 2 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans.
So, you're a green person, but which shade? Confusing, isn't it? Well, True Value's Color Made Simple can help. With exclusive tools, trained professionals, and expert advice, finding your color will always be simple. Now let's talk purple. True Value's Color Made Simple.
Meeting the challenge since 1940.
Have you seen the selection of trailers at the Trailer Depot in Clinton? The area's best kept secret, and the best prices on trailers are at the Trailer Depot. Buy new, buy used, or rent. Trailer Depot has any trailer you need. We even make repairs, sell parts, and get your vehicle ready to tow. Knowing what you're towing keeps us growing at Trailer Depot. Behind you on the road and ahead of the competition. 7th Avenue South in Clinton.
You're watching the home of the Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, and White Sox. Comcast Sportsnet.
And welcome back. Jim Edmonds leading off here in the bottom of the 6th. Takes ball 1 outside from Buckvich. Edmonds went deep off Buckvich. It was the first batter he faced in the 4th inning. Pitcher strike to make it 2-1. Nissan drive of the game. Jim Edmonds back in the 4th inning.
7th of the season, 6th as a member of the Cubs. First one to come to right center or right field in a while. Most of his home runs have come the other way.
He likes that 4th inning. Hit 2 in the 4th the other day against the White Sox. He draws the walk to begin the 6th. He has 4 home runs on this homestand. He had a 3-run homer in the 7th to spark the Cubs comeback. It would fall short. It did get to within 2, losing 7-5. Mike Greenberg and Mike Golick from the Mike and Mike in the Morning radio show will handle our 7th inning stretch tonight. We'll just direct all of our questions to Mike, and whomever would like to handle it can.
Have they ever thought about calling it Mike Squared?
We can ask. They're going to work with Mike Ditka.
That would be Mike Cube.
Yeah. Monday Night Football game coming up this fall. 2-1 on Soto, who has driven in 3 tonight on a couple of hits and 3 tries. Speaking of football and baseball, if you haven't heard it or read it, please check out George Carlin's comparison of the 2 sports. One of the most insightful, funniest things you'll ever hear or read. George Carlin recently passed away. One of the lines in the bit: football is concerned with downs. What down is it? Baseball is concerned with ups. Who's up? Soto walks. First 2 have reached on a free pass here in the 6th.
Hey, Cub fans, don't miss the action as the Cubs battle the Orioles tomorrow at 1:20. Kids, wake up mom and dad early. The first 5,000 children 13 and younger will receive a Cubs wristband, compliments of Jewel Osco. Well, you could use those wristbands tonight.
Dennis Sarfate is up in the Orioles pen. Baseball begins in the spring, the season of new life. Football begins in the fall when everything's dying. strike on DeRosa. Football has hitting, clipping, spearing, piling on, personal fouls, late hitting, and unnecessary roughness. Baseball has the sacrifice. Good stuff. That will be foul. Not by much, maybe a foot.
Quite a change after Albers to start the ball game and then Cormier to follow him. Both finesse pitchers moved the ball in and out, up and down. Fastball was sitting in the high 80s, low 90s. This guy brings it. Fastball sits in the mid 90s. His breaking ball is in the high 80s.
1-2. Fontenot next. Nobody out. First two have reached via the walk. He just struck out DeRosa for the first out. That's his third strikeout since he came in the fourth.
Him on a changeup at 82 miles an hour. When you throw your fastball at 95 or 96, an 82-mile-an-hour changeup is a very effective pitch. That batter has to start his bat a little early for that mid-90s fastball, and then you get fooled by the changeup.
Mike Fontenot used to be in the Orioles organization. He was acquired from Baltimore in the Sammy Sosa deal prior to 2005. The O's took him in the first round out of LSU in 2001. Foul tip, strike two. No big league time with Baltimore before he came over to the Cubs. Edmonds started the inning with a walk. Soto also walked right behind him. Then DeRosa struck out. It's 0-2 and now 0-3 on Fontenot. Ted Lilly looking back in the dugout, and he's going to get his fourth at bat.
Good changeup. You can see that fading action down low and away from Fontenot. Also the change in speeds gets him out in front just enough.
The career best 2 knocks for Lilly. Swing and a miss. We'll keep the football baseball theme alive, according to our friend Ed Hardig. Prior to last night, the last time the Wrigley Field marquee read Chicago versus Baltimore was November 23rd, 1969, when the Bears hosted the Colts, who were then coached by Don Shula. The Colts won the game 24-21 on a Lou Michaels field goal with 12 seconds left. It was the first time that Johnny Unitas did not start at quarterback for the Colts for reasons other than an injury. He came in late as Buckbitch strikes out the final 3 of the inning after 2 walks. So we'll go to the 7th from Wrigley Field on a steamy night. It's 7-4 Cubs.
I need you. I need you every single day, and I want you. I want you every single way, and it's love, it's love, it's love, it's la 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 la, it's love, it's love, it's love, it's la 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 la, and I want you. I want you every single day, and I need you. I need you every single way, and it's love, it's love, it's love, it's la 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 la, it's love, it's love, it's love. Oh my gosh.
It's incredible.
Looks like they're thinking Arby's new toasted subs. They're big, fresh, and available at the drive-thru. Made with savory meats, smothered with melted cheese, and piled high on toasted ciabatta bread. One bite will have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's. Get your toasted subs at the drive-thru.
Friday, round 2 of the Crosstown Classic kicks off on Comcast Sportsnet. Derek Lee and the Cubs head to the South Side to show why they are among the elite in baseball this season. But Carlos Quentin and the Sox look to show off their big bats in a slugfest with city bragging rights on the line. And Comcast Sportsnet has the huge rivalry cover. An extensive 1-hour pregame show, the highest quality broadcast, and all the postgame reaction from the ballpark. The Crosstown Classic Round 2, Friday at 2 on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Cubs leading tonight 7-4 over the Orioles. They scored 6 times in the first 2 innings. Alex Cintron against Ted Lilly, strike 1. Pinch hitter on deck is Adam Jones for Buckbitch. Pulled, and a nice play by Ramirez. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Nicely done, Aramis.
Very little reaction time, playing even with the base, a short hop. And the little lollipop throw in plenty of time to get Cintron over there at first base.
Oh, by you, don't mind getting Buckbitch out of there. Struck out the side after walking 2 in the 6th. He gave up 1 in 3 innings. Leadoff home run to Edmonds in the 4th, and then really seemed to settle down.
Really only gave up 2 base hits after that. The double by Fondo off the wall in right center, and the Ted Lilly base hit. Pretty effective.
1 strike on Jones. Coming off the bench tonight. Swing and a miss. 0-2. It's only the 6th time this year Jones has not been in their starting lineup. Lilly's 2-strike offering is pulled foul on the ground near the Cubs dugout. Well, I don't know how much longer they're going to wait, but it's still raining in Detroit. 5-5. They've been in a delay for a long time. Cardinals and the Tigers.
There must be a window. The proverbial window. Now the Animals are pairing up 2 by 2, but there's a window coming up in 45 minutes. We might be able to get started.
4th strikeout for Ted, and he'll face Brian Roberts with 2 outs and nobody on.
Gio wanted that ball up a little higher, but Ted Lilly puts it just off of the outside corner, about belt high. Tough pitch for the youngster to take, and down he goes.
It's low ball 1 on Roberts. No matter what happens the rest of the night, this will not go down as a quality start for Ted Lilly because he has already given up 4 earned runs. But he really has battled tonight. He's given up 2 home runs. His team leads 7-4, but the conditions have been very conducive to a lot of offense. Well, this could end up going down as one of his better starts of the year.
Well, you bring up a great point, Len. A lot of times we just look at the numbers and say that was a good start, that was a bad start, that was a so-so start, but you really have to look beyond the numbers themselves. What was the offense he faced doing at the point of that ball game? What were the conditions in the ballpark that day? What was his offense doing at that time? I mean, there are times when your ball club is struggling offensively as a starting pitcher. You know, if you give up 2 runs, you're probably not going to give your team a chance to win a ball game. Other times, like most of the first half for the Cubs, if they're swinging the bats well, you know you can give up a couple or 3 runs and still win a ball game.
Should be no problem for DeRosa. Time for the stretch.
Tonight's guest conductors for Take Me Out to the Ball Game are ESPN radio personalities Mike and Mike.
All right, let us hear you. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the ground. Lord, may show me the root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. Or it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Let's get some more runs. Thank you.
Keep your roof protected with Seal Best roof coatings from Menards. Pro All-Weather Flashing Cement is great for creating a weatherproof seal around chimneys, skylights, and gutters. Pro Fibered Coating repels water and preserves roof surfaces. Your choice, $7.89 each. Cool off your attic with a power vent fan from AirVent. They offer precision balanced blades for quiet operation, on sale just $49. Other vents and whole house fans are also on sale. Check out these and other great deals during the summer sale at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
The great American holiday is coming, and here's something to celebrate. The Chevy 72-hour sale. You only have 72 hours to declare your independence from interest payments for 6 full years with 0% financing for 72 months. Choose from thousands of Chevys, like the HHR, with an EPA estimated 30 miles per gallon on the highway. The Chevy 72-hour sale. See your local Chevy dealer today.
If you're going to eat $5, shouldn't you get more meat? Quizno's large deli favorite sandwiches are just $5. Quizno.
It's been a fun night at the ballpark tonight. Cubs looking to even up this series. They had their 14-game home winning streak come to an end last night. Dennis Sarfate will take over for the Orioles. 7-4, the Cubs with the lead, top of the order. And top of the morning, I guess everyone says to Mike and Mike. How about that segue? Mike Golick and Mike Greenberg from the very popular Mike and Mike in the Morning radio show. Gentlemen, nicely done.
Thank you. What an honor it is for us to be here. It was really a lot of fun.
It was a lot. I've seen it done so many times, and to be asked to do it, you come up here and the first thing you think is, don't screw it up. I don't want to make the bad reel. I know there's a bad reel and a good reel, and I don't want to be on the bad one.
You might make the morning radio shows if it's bad, right?
Oh,
sure. You've played a few that haven't gone too well as Patterson pops out to Cintrone. What's the worst one? What's the one you played the most?
Oh, without a doubt, Ozzy Osbourne. I mean, you didn't even know the words. I mean, it was absolutely brutal. It was so brutal it was funny, and you almost wondered if he got more attention for being bad than good. But there were more than a few bad ones out there.
Yeah, when Jeff Gordon misidentified the name of the building, we thought that was inappropriate. I figured if we got Wrigley Field right, we'd be in good shape.
If you start off bad, it's really tough to catch up. So we figured we had to come off on a good foot.
But what a thrill.
Nice job.
I lived here for 11 years. I covered this team for many years. I sat about 20 feet to the right over here and watched Harry sing that for all those years. So what a thrill it is to be up here with you guys.
It's great to have you guys with us. Go ahead, Bob.
You're up past your bedtime, aren't you? What time do you guys normally go to bed? What time do you normally get up?
We're past our bedtime, yes. And we normally get up about 4:15 Eastern time, to start the day. So we're up late. But we can be up late with you guys watching this. Let me tell you, it's worth staying up for.
Golick turns into a pumpkin in the top of the ninth.
I do.
Actually, very entertaining to watch.
Actually, I'm gonna look like a pumpkin because I'm gonna eat after this. I'll tell you that much right now.
I notice all of your analysis in the morning is about all the great events that have happened before the 7th inning of all the early games the night before.
We got that down pat, don't we? Anything after that, we call people.
We're very good at who threw out the opening pitch.
That's exactly right.
We usually see those.
2-1 on Ryan Theriot. I think that said 99 on that last pitch from Dennis Sarfate. As the Cubs lead 7-4 here in the 7th. Base hit foul. That one was at 96. So what's the big topic these days? The NBA draft tomorrow. You got baseball going on. Wimbledon. What are you guys focused in on right now?
Well, certainly baseball. You know, as you start to talk and get closer to the trading deadline, and once July hits, and you start to see who's going to be in it, who's going to throw up the white flag. A lot on the Olympic basketball team with the great roster they had out there. You know, and can they play better internationally this time? We haven't done so well, but you know, there's a lot of more than a few things out there.
And here in Chicago, at the beginning of the Derrick Rose era, we would assume beginning tomorrow night as the Bulls have the first pick in the draft. That certainly will be a big topic of conversation around the sports world, not just tomorrow, but for the next few weeks.
3-2 on Ryan Theriot. We're with Mike Greenberg and Mike Golick. Mike and Mike in the morning. Hit foul. Now it's a sports talk show, but I'm sure you guys can veer a little bit off. Is there a fine line in your estimation? Do you ever, after a show, say, maybe we spent too much time not talking sports? Would you call it guy talk or sports talk?
We're more sports talk. I would say probably 70-30, 65-35, something like that, if my math is correct, on sports talk and guy talk. But we are a show we certainly like to talk about our families, talk about our home life and things like that as well.
I'm just impressed that both the numbers you gave there added up to 100.
You know what?
That's what I was worried
about. As I said, 65-35, I was stunned. You know, certainly my former professors at Notre Dame sometimes cringe when I speak or try and do simple math. It sometimes works against me. But no, we really like to incorporate things, in the entertainment world or our families, and things like that in the show. We think it really, a lot of people can relate to that around the country. We certainly don't put ourselves above anybody, not the way I speak.
And not the way you threw pitch tonight. By the way, did you guys see the opening pitch?
I was waiting for that.
We have it.
Oh, we definitely have it. We have it.
No.
So far, so good.
I have an explanation.
Yeah. I'd like to hear it.
Yeah. Okay, I did hit the dirt.
Man.
Here's the thing.
You didn't hit the dirt. You didn't reach the dirt, Mike.
No,
you hit the grass.
No, I hit the dirt. It was past the grass.
What are you watching? The second bounce was in the dirt.
No, the first bounce was in the dirt. Let me tell you.
From dead center field, that would have been a terrific throw.
Here's the thing. What I didn't understand, someone help me with this, the mound is raised. When did they do that? when did that happen?
After Denny McClain won 31 games.
Watch where it hits. It hits the dirt.
It hits the dirt. You did get some dirt.
It bounced into the strike zone.
There you go. Yeah.
Trying to help you out a little bit.
What's the distance of the?
It's 60 feet 6 inches, Mike. You threw that one about 57 feet.
Yeah, all right, it was a little short. You know what I was trying? I thought there was a batter up there. I was trying to dust him back, or get him dirty with kicking up the dirt.
Big swing by Derek Lee, and it's 1-2. Runner at first, one out. We're with Mike and Mike in the morning. Kind of broke into talk show mode there. I kind of enjoyed that.
You know what? Anytime Greeny does something that seems to be more athletic than me, it embarrasses me.
Right.
But I'm going to say, I tried to throw a pitch there. Greeny tried to lob it in. So it looks like his did get there. I'll give him that. But I tried a pitch, doggone it. Do I get any credit for that?
I'll give you credit.
Thank you.
Now, you were talking recently about shooting hoops. Do you remember this conversation? And you did well.
No, I
Greeny,
did poorly.
Right? You did poorly?
We played horse and I lost. Then we played ping pong and I won.
He beat me in ping pong, yeah. Okay. He thought he was going to win the horse, but I smoked him in the horse in ping pong. He played great defense, and I made a lot of unforced errors.
We're a very athletic show. Our next is we're running the bases. That's actually an entire competition.
In all honesty, we really are pathetic. I mean, just pathetic with what we do. And we try and be hip on the show. We try and play hip music at times. Greeny dances in the chair. There are times I watch a replay of the show and I cringe. I want to retire.
1-2 on Lee. Runner at first. Cubs are trying to tack on, already up by 3. Now you're wearing Cubs uniforms and we're here at Wrigley Field, so it's a loaded question, but is there a better atmosphere for a sporting event than this?
I would absolutely say no. I mean, certainly not in baseball, and you could make arguments, I guess, about other sports, but there was something so incredibly special as we were walking up here. I was saying to our former producer, Justin Craig, that those are the same seats that people were sitting in watching these baseball games 70, 80 years ago. They're still sitting in exactly that same spot watching almost identical dimensions and field, and almost everything else is exactly the same. There's been a game that is so based upon its history. There's something wonderful about that.
They'll get 1. They will get 2. Gentlemen, thanks so much for the time. We enjoy listening. And, yeah, come back again.
Love to do
Anytime,
it. Really enjoyed it.
It was an honor. Thank you so much for having us up here.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Mike and Mike, 7-4.
Presenting the Lincoln MKX with exclusive sync technology powered by Microsoft and an extra-large Vista roof. Now get the Lincoln MKX with 0% financing plus $500 bonus cash at your local Lincoln dealer.
Legend has it, Rocky Mountain miners knew how to celebrate with get-togethers called banquets. Their beer, Coors, they called it banquet beer. Brewed with Rocky Mountain water and only the best high country barley for a full flavored taste. Savored by generations since 1873. Times have changed. Coors never will. Coors, the banquet beer.
Hello, welcome to Lowe's. Grills? Sure. I think you're a big eater, am I wrong? We have got a great selection of outdoor furniture. Go ahead, sniff it. Oh, I see you're looking at the Trex. You got everything you need? I'll take that as a yes.
Time to come out of hibernation and head over to Lowe's for all your outdoor living needs.
Oh, hey, Steve. Yeah, got it all at Lowe's. How do you like your steak?
Lowe's, let's build something together.
Rare.
Presenting the Lincoln MKX with exclusive sync technology powered by Microsoft and an extra-large Vista roof. Now get the Lincoln MKX with 0% financing plus $500 bonus cash at your local Lincoln dealer.
Time now for the Sharp Aquist game-changing play. Cubs had led 1-0 at this point. Giovanni Soto with a single that went off the glove of Cintron. Nice send there by Mike Quaddy as the Cubs were able to get 2 runs.
Gio coming up with the big base hit. Mike Quaddy with the big send at third base. Try to take advantage of every opportunity you get in a ball game. That was strictly due to Mike Quaddy's homework before the game.
Carlos Marmol is on here in the 8th inning with a 3-run lead. First pitch slider for a strike on Markakis. Thanks to Mike and Mike. They were fun. Mike Golick was just beside himself for that pitch that was in the dirt. He knows that he's not going to hear the end of it tomorrow. And I said, you know what? You took one for the team. It's good for the show. So he said he's going to use that tomorrow.
Okay. You can tell there's a real competition between the two of them. The athlete and the non-athlete, and anytime Mike can top Mike, they're going to beat on each other.
Mike Golick was a 9-year NFL veteran, played defensive tackle for the Oilers, Eagles, and Dolphins. Mike Greenberg's very good at ping pong.
Yes, he is.
Pulled foul on the ground. So Ted Lilly tonight got it done. 7 innings, 4 runs, but his team gave him 7. And now the bullpen will try to make it hold up. Base hit into right. Can you imagine watching your first place Cubs from the front row at Wrigley Field? Now you can. Visit Cubs.com and click on the CBOE front row seats auction to bid on tickets in the front row behind home plate and along the first base line. The next auction begins this Friday for the Reds series, July 8th through the 10th. Don't miss your chance to be part of the action and cheer your favorite Cubs from the very front row. Now, Marmol pitched an inning last night, faced the minimum. He hit a batter with 1 out, Mora, who's now at the plate, but Mora was in caught stealing. The other 2 outs were fly ball outs. To Ramirez, let's see if they can turn it. 5-4, safe. Mora just beat the relay throw.
Tough double play to turn that high hopper to third base. Chase to Ramos. Ramirez back a step to make the play, and then the long throw to Fontenot at second. You could see the runner Markakis was right on top of Mike Fontenot at second base, and Mike's throw pulled Dealey off the bag just a little bit.
Here's Huff. Ball 1. That single by Markakis to start the inning was the first hit allowed by Marmol since June 8th. That snaps a string of 7 straight hitless appearances. Good slider, 1-1. Red Sox shut out the Diamondbacks at Fenway tonight, 5-0. It was Tim Wakefield over Randy Johnson in a battle of veterans. Jonathan Papelbon with his 23rd save. Cash hit his first home run for the Red Sox. The final in Cleveland, Barry Zito got his 3rd win against 11 defeats as the Giants beat the Indians 4-1. Yankees blew out the Pirates 10-0. That's a final at PNC. The Nationals got a run in the bottom of the 9th to beat the Angels 5-4. That snaps the Angels' 5-game winning streak. Mets over the Mariners final 8-2. Maine over Batista. David Wright hit 2 home runs. Jose Reyes hit 1. Tampa Bay got 10 in the 5th at Florida en route to a 15-3 drubbing. Good job by Soto to apply the tag first. He did not get the call at third base.
Now we've seen Gio do that a couple of times this year on a potential check swing. 3rd strike, rather than ask first and then have to chase the runner down the first baseline, tag first and then ask for the appeal.
Although as a runner at first, I don't think he had to tag him in that spot, but why not? Just for good measure. 3-2 is hit foul.
Good habits.
Yep. They're at extras in Toronto. Reds and the Jays are 5-5. Not sure if J.P. Ricciardi and Adam Dunn have spoken. You see that story?
It just goes on and on, doesn't it?
Let's see. Ricciardi said that he talked to Dunn on the phone. Dunn said no, he didn't. Might have been an imposter. Just foul past first base. That was close. Ricciardi had made some disparaging remarks about Dunn recently, apologized for them, and wanted to apologize personally to Dunn. Junior with a home run.
I'm sure at this point they both wish it would just go away.
Let's see, for Ken Griffey Jr.'s 602nd career home run. Another 3-2 in on the hands that time. And he fought it off. And now the Reds lead 6-5 in the 10th. So they have taken the lead. Already a 9-pitch at bat for Aubrey Huff against Marmol. Got him at half swing on the slider. You know, Bob, there are probably fans out there, and I understand the question. With Marmol and Wood, why throw the slider to a left-handed hitter when you might hit him? This is why.
That's absolutely why. When you put it in a good location like that, and by that I mean start it over the middle of the plate, maybe the inner third of the plate, so when the ball does take the break down and in, it ends up just off the plate inside, a pitch that left-handers have a real hard time laying off of. They see what looks like a pitch down and in where most lefties love to swing at that pitch. They start the bat and suddenly the ball is gone. They swing right over the top of it. Certainly there's a small margin for error when you're throwing that slider inside to a lefty, but it's a devastating pitch.
And particularly in the case of Marmol, although Woody has basically become a 2-pitch guy, You have to throw that pitch to a lefty. You can't just be fastball, fastball, fastball. 40,754, and they're on their feet. Way down the road, Marmol may develop a third pitch, but he doesn't need one now. He has been dominating this year.
There was some talk earlier this year about moving Marmol to the rotation, which, first of all, is a ridiculous thing to think about doing in the middle of the season after he's already been groomed for the role he's in right now, but he would definitely need that third pitch.
Called strike 3 on the slider to get out of the inning. Leadoff single, no runs. Hernandez chatting with Marvin Hudson. And the Cubs maintain their 3-run advantage. It's 7-4 to the bottom of the 8th.
Here we can see that the structure of price variance is going to shift unilaterally according to daily expenditures and profit margins. And here on slide 88 of 250, we have a contribution.
That's why Southwest Airlines has 15 daily one-stop and connecting flights from Chicago Midway to Dallas Love Field, so you can always catch a later flight. And you can count on us to get you there with our convenient flights and on-time service.
You're now free to race into the store-wide sale at Planet Audio Video, where you'll get 20% off all in-stock speakers and audio components and 10% off all in-stock TVs. That's 20% off great audio brands like Denon, Marantz, Monitor Audio, Paradigm, and more. Plus 10% off amazing TVs by Hitachi, LG, and Mitsubishi. You'll also find people who can intelligently answer your questions about the television changes that are coming. So race in for our 10% off all in-stock TVs and 20% off all in-stock audio components and speakers at the Planet Audio Video store-wide sale.
TPC Deer Run, home to the John Deere Classic, is also your home for food, entertainment, shopping, and championship golf at affordable prices. TPC Deer Run is open to the public and is available for corporate and charitable outings from 12 to 144 players. The TPC Golf Shop is the top 100 golf shop in the country and has a huge selection of brand name merchandise at competitive prices. Host your wedding or special event at TPC's Clubhouse. Have lunch every day in the grill room or try the Sunday breakfast buffet. It's all at TPC Deer Run in Silvis.
Playing for Peanuts, Sunday night at 7, only on Comcast Sportsnet. From the Comcast Sportsnet studios, it's a Cadillac Sports Update.
Hey everyone, Chris Bowden with you. Just a quick programming reminder that this weekend we have all 3 games of round 2 of the Crosstown Classic covered. On Friday, we have the Cubs telecast of the game with pregame coverage starting at 2. And after every game this weekend, Crosstown Postgame Live brings you inside both clubhouses. That includes Saturday and Sunday games as well. And stick with us after this one for a recap of this matchup with the Orioles. Back to the guys calling the game on Friday. That's Len and Bob.
Thanks, Chris. The Cubs are close to evening up this series. They lead 7-4 after dropping the first game 7-5 last night. Sarfate against Ramirez, and a foul pop. There's the closer, Kerry Wood. Would be a save spot if he comes in to start the ninth with a 3-run lead. If the Cubs add on, it would not be a save situation for him. Another final. Kansas City dumped the Rockies 4-2 at Kauffman Stadium. Umpire Brian O'Nora was released from the hospital today. He has a mild concussion. Suffered a cut on his forehead. He was hit by a broken maple bat last night in Kansas City. Been a tough go for the Phillies as Ramirez pulls that ball way foul. Phillies have lost their last 6 in a row. They lead at Oakland in the 3rd, 1-0. Marlins with an opportunity lately, but they just lost their 3rd in a row. So they're a game and a half out.
Greg Maddux pitching for the Padres tonight has a one-hit shutout going through 3 innings against the Twins. We've seen Greg Maddux's name show up on some of the rumor wires as a guy that could potentially move to a contender at the trade deadline.
Big swing and the miss. And a strikeout. And it brings up Edmonds, who has homered tonight, reached twice on walks, has knocked in 2, and has scored twice. Texas leading at Houston 3-2 as they play the top of the 9th. Boy, Bob, just as you said that, the Twins just tied it up 3-3 in San Diego. See, didn't they hit a couple of home runs late last night? I think off Trevor Hoffman to win. And the Twins are looking for their 8th consecutive win. They're only 1.5 behind the White Sox, who are down 2-0 in the second at Dodger Stadium. Final at Rogers Center, the Reds beat the Jays 6-5. Game-winning RBI in that game. Jay Bruce hit a sac fly to score Norris Hopper in the top of the 10th. Rodimus Liz, a right-hander, against right-hander Jason Marquis tomorrow in the series finale. Ryan Dempster scheduled now to start for the Cubs on Friday. He looks for his first road win of the year. He has a good ERA, just hasn't won. Cubs are trying to get him one more start before the All-Star break, so that's why he was moved up a day. 9-0 here at home. 0-2 with a 2.48 in 6 road starts. Check swing by Edmonds, and he'll head down to first after his 3rd walk. Now the Feldco Cubs upcoming schedule. They'll wrap up this series tomorrow. Then they'll put a wrap on interleague play this weekend. On the south side, we'll have game 1 here on Comcast Sportsnet, 3 o'clock for the first pitch. But join us at 11:30. Cubs and the Rockies in an encore presentation back from May 30th. We'll have all the pregame coverage as well from U.S. Cellular Field.
Well, and if you are planning on heading over to the Cell this weekend, my advice would just be play nice. Well, Cub fans obviously hugely outnumbered the White Sox fans here at Wrigley, but from what I saw, at least inside the ballpark, everybody got along fine. Watch a little baseball, enjoy some sunshine, and everybody went home with all their own teeth. I'd like to do the same thing this weekend over at the Cell.
Be a nice T-shirt to wear. Play nice. That Orioles fan smiling even though his team is down 7-4.
He's just happy to be here. I have to say, I'm a little surprised at the number of Oriole fans that I've seen not only here at Wrigley but in the Wrigleyville area, on the streets around town. It's hard not to spot them in those bright orange T-shirts.
To Soto's a strike on the inside corner. Well, the Orioles, just to give you some history, were a charter member of the American League in 1901, but they were not the Baltimore Orioles. They were the Milwaukee Brewers. in 1901. Then they moved to St. Louis. They played as the Browns until 1953. Another walk. You start adding up the walks here. That's 8 on the night for the Cubs. They became the Orioles in 1954. Since then, they've won 3 World Championships, 1966, 1970, and 1983. If you don't have a lot of time, you can just say the Baltimore Orioles. All one long word.
And I know a lot of fans out there tonight, probably your best recollection of the Baltimore Orioles were the Earl Weaver Orioles. Team built on great pitching, great defense, and 3-run homers. Not to mention Earl's antics with the umpires. I mean, if Cub fans think Lou Piniella is entertaining when he goes after an umpire, they never saw Earl Weaver. He was a master.
Oh yeah, there's a great sound recording of him going at it with an umpire. Ooh. Sit down, Earl. And his voice was gone. Yeah. Where are you gonna be when I'm in the Hall of Fame? You're gonna be in the Hall of Fame? Yeah, you know it.
That's a pretty good impersonation right there. Oh, brother.
That's good stuff. He was way ahead of his time. I think you alluded to that maybe last night. He waited around for that 3-run homer. Jamie Walker, left-hander, is up. There are a lot of teams out there these days that do the same thing. Not many when he managed.
Kind of the blueprint that a lot of teams followed for a while. The Orioles strong up the middle defensively. Strong center fielder that could cover a lot of ground. Short and second could make all the plays. Strong defensive catcher, whether it was Rick Dempsey or Elrod Hendricks. Power at the corners in the infield and the outfield, and great starting pitching.
What year was it? Was it 71? They had 4 20-game winners. And off the plate, and DeRosa walks. They are loaded up. Sarfate all of a sudden can't find the strike zone. And with the left-handed hitting Fontenot coming up, it's the pitching coach Rick Kranitz to head out. They do have Walker out in the pen.
Well, Sarfate, another guy for this Orioles pitching staff that doesn't really get hit very much. Coming into play tonight, only 23 base hits in nearly 33 innings pitched, but he has walked 25 batters. That's been a common pattern for every guy that's come marching in from that Orioles bullpen tonight.
Back in 1971, Dave McNally won 21. Mike Cuellar, Pat Dobson, and Jim Palmer all won 20. All well over 200 innings, 3 of them over 280 innings. There's a Hall of Famer, Jim Palmer, right next to us in the Orioles television booth. Popped up by Fontenot. Cintrone with a beat on it, and he's going to take it. Everybody holding up.
Well, not a good at bat by Mike Fontenot right there. Yeah, granted, he wants to make something happen, drive in a couple of insurance runs here late in the ball game, but Sarfate had just walked 3 batters in a row ahead of him, really scuffling to find the strike zone, and Fontenot popped up the first pitch he saw.
Darryl Ward, who just came off the disabled list last night, walked as a pinch hitter and then was removed for a pinch runner. And he is not going to face Sarfate. It's the Heineken call to the pin. It'll be Jamie Walker, a southpaw. Bases loaded, 7-4 Cubs in the 8th.
Dames en heren, we gaan beginnen!
Exceptionally brewed for a taste that's pure Amsterdam. Amstel Light, one damn good beer.
Where we come from, high gas prices are nothing new. Perhaps that's why BMW offers more vehicles that average at least 28 miles per gallon than any other luxury automaker. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Lease a BMW 328i for $399 a month, or take advantage of 3.9% finance.
How do you want to see the game? You want to be closer? Well, this is no ordinary ticket. This is your ticket to baseball heaven in high definition. Sharp Aqua's the official HD TV of Major League Baseball. And with a blazing 4-millisecond response time and a super fast refresh rate, there isn't a shot in the hole or a screamer down the line that will singe the hair in your nostrils. It will change your baseball-loving life.
Aqua's LCD TV. Change your TV, change your life. Sharp.
Cubs have joined the McCormick Foundation's Neighbors in Need 2008 to help victims of the recent flooding in Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, and Missouri. You're invited to visit McCormickFoundation.org/floods or call 866-242-5006 to contribute. The McCormick Foundation will match the first $1 million raised through the campaign at 50 cents on the dollar. Jamie Walker is on to face Darryl Ward. The Cubs have the bases loaded, all on walks here in the 8th inning. 2 outs. And the pitch. It's outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Three career grand slams for Darryl. He was on the disabled list with a bulging disc in his lower back since mid-May. Came off last night. 2-0. Just missed the outside corner, and now Walker has to throw a strike or he's going to force in a run. Well, you've got to love the approach tonight by the Cubs offense, really all night long. Save for that first pitch swing by Fontenot. The Cubs have been very, very patient. Fans are up 3-0, taken for a strike.
Well, he's got to do it again. As tempting as it may be to swing at that 3-0 pitch with the bases loaded, pressure is still on Walker out there on the mound. He's got to throw another strike right here.
Good job by Matt Sinatra to backpedal out of the way. That ball was a screamer off the bat of Darryl Ward. Sunday, Jamie Walker became the 321st hurler to appear in his 500th game. He's been busy last couple of years. Tied for first in the AL with 81 appearances last season. 3-2. The runners will go, and the pitch will do it again. Cubs are now 7 out of 19 with runners in scoring position. runners all night. Got him. So the Cubs had him loaded with only one out. Did not get a run. So it will be a save spot for Kerry Wood in the ninth with a 7-4 lead.
I see skies of blue.
Some find it by mixing exercise with play. Some gain it by showing others the way, while others discover it in the beauty of nature. It's wellness. And at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, yours means the world to us. Because when it all comes together, we want to give you the inspiration to experience wellness everywhere.
What a wonderful world.
We've sold thousands of quality used cars, but actually, quality used cars sell themselves. Hello, I'm Bruce Dickstein of the David Bruce Auto Center. Our factory-trained technicians go through every used car. The ones that pass go on our lot. The ones that don't, they go somewhere else. At the David Bruce Auto Center, we take the risk out of buying. We believe it's the only way to buy a used car.
And if credit has been a problem, see David Bruce for a second chance.
Dames en heren, we gaan beginnen!
Exceptionally brewed for a taste that's pure Amsterdam. Amstel Light, one damn good beer.
Get ready for an exciting Cubs finish. Brought to you by New Finish Car Polish and the #1 rated scratch remover, Scratch Doctor.
After the game, stick around for Lowe's Cubs post-game live. Get highlights of all the action, analysis from Dan Plesac, plus check in on Lou Pinella's post-game remarks. Don't miss Lowe's Cubs post-game live immediately following the game right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
See the numbers for Woody on the season. He's in the midst of a real nice run. 2 wins, 12 saves, and an .096 ERA in his last 18 outings going back to May 15th.
Faces Luke Scott. Ball 1. Looking for his 20th save of the year. He's tied for second in the National League with Jose Valverde of the Astros. Brian Wilson, the leader in the National League, just picked up his 21st tonight at Cleveland. Also would be his 10th consecutive successful save. Sliders in there. 1 and 2. This is Wood's 14th season in the Cubs organization. Was taken in the first round in '95. Blew it right by him at 98. 98 was a good year for Kerry Wood too, wasn't it?
Yes, indeed it was.
Rookie of the year that season.
He just overpowers him with a letter high fastball right where Giovanni Soto called for it.
Nothing in 1 on Payton. He has supplied all the Orioles offense with 2 two-run homers. And for Payton, it's his 5th career multi-homer performance, first this season. Kid K back in '98 with 13 and 6. He was a starter at that time, struck out 233 batters.
You see Soto wanted to go back up the ladder again that time with a letter high fastball. Payton just able to get a piece of it.
1-2.
It's that front door slider. Even if you're looking for a slider as a hitter, you expect it to be over the plate breaking away. That time Woody threw it right at Jay Payton, tried to snap it over the inside corner.
Swing and a miss. Well, we've seen a lot of power from the Cubs pen here late. Marmol struck out the final 2 of the 8th, and Kerry Wood punching out the first 2 in the 9th. That's almost unhittable at that spot, isn't it?
Well, especially if you take a big swing like Jay Payton did right there. The key to hitting somebody who throws hard is to swing quick, not swing hard. The harder you try to swing, the more body you get involved, and the slower your bat is through the hitting zone.
Cintron takes all the way. Ball 1. Kick and the 1-1 pitch. Hit foul. A ball and 2 strikes. If Cintron gets on, it would be Kevin Millar who's on deck. That's not going to happen as he strikes out Cintron. Cubs win. A dominating 9th for Kerry Wood. He struck out the side, all swinging. And the Cubs with a chance to win this series tomorrow. 7-4 the final. Cubs got 6 of their runs in the first 2 innings, 4 in the first. And they never trailed tonight.
Yeah, good to see him bounce back after the loss last night. Come back swinging the bats. Very patient, disciplined at bats. Made the Orioles pay.
Let's go down to the field. Josh Morris standing by with Giovanni Soto.
Yeah, Len, 3 RBI for Giovanni Soto, but I want to work backwards here. How much fun is it to catch Kerry Wood when he's got stuff like he did tonight?
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. I mean, he comes in and set the tone. You know, he's throwing hard, going after guys. I mean, it's really good catching him. I mean, it's always a good ride.
The whole bullpen's had a lot of power. Carlos Marmol seemed to have his good stuff. What have you guys been working on with him, and how good was he?
I'm just trying with Marmol, just trying to keep him simple. You know, he got great stuff. Just don't let him get too excited out there. Just stay close and you know, attack a hitter.
Had to be good for you guys too, coming off your first loss at home in a long time, to put up that 4 spot. You had that RBI single in that 4-run first inning.
Yeah, I mean, it felt good, and you know, like everything. I mean, we're not going to be invincible for the rest of the year, but it's really good, you know, to come today and have a nice win like this.
And you've been able to avoid losing streaks. You guys haven't lost 2 in a row since opening day and the day after here at home.
Yeah, hopefully that continues.
Absolutely. Go get them tomorrow and make it 2 in a row.
All right, thank you.
That's Giovanni Soto. Cubs win, guys.
Thanks, Josh. That's a great note. The Cubs have not lost 2 in a row here at home since they lost the first 2 games of the 2008 schedule, and they improved now to 33-9 at home. Their lead in the Central's up to 4. It's still raining, Bob, in Detroit. 5-5 in the 5th. They really want to get that one in tonight.
That window is about to get there. Just be patient.
It'll be Rodimus Liz and Jason Marquis tomorrow, and then off to the south side to resume the Crosstown Classic. Cubs swept the White Sox this past weekend, and they'll go into that series having won the last 6, going back to last year when they swept them on the south side. And that'll do it for our game coverage. Stay tuned for post-game live. The final score tonight, the Cubs 7, the Orioles 4. Our next Cubs telecast here on Comcast Sportsnet Friday. Pre-game coverage at 2 again. The encore presentation of the Cubs hosting the Rockies on May 30th will start at 11:30. Bob and I will have all the action starting at 3 o'clock, but we'll be there all day. We'll have Crosstown post-game live following as well. In-game scoring provided by ScorePad. And now for Bob, for Josh Mora, for Bob Albrecht, Dave Turner, Tamara Anderson, and our great crew, this is Len Casper. You've been watching Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. Cubs win. Good night from Wrigley.
All right, Len, thank you very much. The Cubby train just starts moving again.
The big blue train. I can hear Danny on the other side of the studio.
Unfortunately, we can't hear. With Mark Shanowski, I'm Pat Boyle back in our downtown Chicago studios. Lou Piniello's press conference, and Dan Plesac with his choo-choo train are coming to break down everything up next on Cubs Postgame Live.
And we hope you'll stick around after that show for Land Rover Sports Night. Of course, we'll bring you all the clubhouse reaction from victorious Wrigley Field. Plus, we'll hear from Derek Rose and Michael Beasley ahead of tomorrow's NBA draft. We'll tell you why the Miami Heat might be looking to deal that #2 overall pick.
And we'll hear from Alfonso Soriano when he thinks he might return to action. Could it be before the All-Star break?
And Kerry Wood's annual bowling event is going green. Stay tuned for that.
Yes, Greeny. Those stories and more on Land Rover Sports Night at 10:30 after Cubs Postgame Live, which comes your way with Chris Bowden and the quirky one, Dan Plesac, after this.
Bank of America offers the opportunity to see Wrigley Field like never before. Take a 90-minute guided tour and see the press box, locker room, dugouts, and more. With the new expanded summer schedule, it's now more convenient than ever to experience beautiful Wrigley Field. Purchase tickets by calling 1-800-THE-CUBS or by visiting Cubs.com.
What your engine feels, you feel. And when it's running clean, you feel it. That's why Pennzoil Motor Oil is specially formulated to clean out up to 15% of sludge in the first oil change. And a cleaner engine just feels better. So change with Pennzoil and feel the clean. Not just oil, Pennzoil. And now a 5-quart jug is only $10 for a limited time at Walmart.
The great American holiday is coming, and here's something to celebrate. The Chevy 72-hour sale. You only have 72 hours to declare your independence from interest payments for 6 full years with 0% financing for 72 months. Choose from thousands of Chevys, like the HHR, with an EPA estimated 30 miles per gallon on the highway. The Chevy 72-hour sale. See your local Chevy dealer today.
We've come to this island, and you'll never believe what we found. The internet. Seems it can't hide here either. Simply insert the AT&T Laptop Connect card, and you are connected at mobile broadband speeds. Email business proposals, access your customer database, all on the go. I'm Bill Curtis, and I've just found the internet.
The internet can't hide anymore. Get the AT&T Laptop Connect card for free and work in more places worldwide than anyone else.
Hey Cubs fans, are you looking to get tickets to the hottest Cubs games this year? Visit Cubs.com and click on StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of Cubs.com. Don't miss all the fun and excitement at the friendly confines with StubHub. There's always a ticket available to a Cubs game. Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. With Southwest Airlines, you're now free to be more productive. Visit Southwest.com today. Menards. At Menards, you'll find big lumber yards, big selection, and big savings. And by your local Chicagoland Buick Pontiac GMC dealers.
Strikes out Centrone. Cubs win.
Cubs win at 7-4 over Baltimore tonight as they start a new streak after having that 14-game win streak snapped last night. Ted Lilly went 7. Offense scored early and often. Lilly made it hold up. And Marmol and Wood finished things off again. 7-4 your final. And hello and welcome to Lowe's Cubs Postgame Live alongside Dan Plesac. I'm Chris Bowden. Let's just get over with that. What's that noise I hear?
Woo woo!
All right, and what is that?
That's the big blue train.
All right, the new home win streak. Actually, it's not a streak yet, but they've started something new here, and they'll try and start a streak tomorrow after the 14-gamer ended last night. This is really a night where pitchers kind of needed to persevere. I mean, Baltimore had that tough situation where their scheduled starter, Brian Burris, was scratched. He was feeling a little bit under the weather. Then Matt Albers comes in, shoulder discomfort. So they go to their bullpen after just 5 batters. Tough deal for Baltimore.
Had the blue flu.
Yes, I would think so. And then the way the Cubs lineup came through, not a lot of big hits in that first inning, but they were able to come through, put some runners on the board as we take a look at how this all transpired. Just a lot of chips and short shots into the outfield, but the Cubs executed well, and they ended up with a big 4-run first inning. Ryan Theriot got it started right there. And Derek Lee comes up here. He squibs one through the middle, just far enough there. Brian Roberts tries throwing it to first base. Derek Lee is safe, so runners on the corners now, and then Aramis Ramirez stays hot. No, not the big bomb, but the slice into left field. That scores the first run of the ball game as Theriot comes in. Jim Edmonds then draws a walk. Lots of those for the Cubs tonight. 10 walks in all, and that's when Matt Albers got some attention out on the mound, was lifted with right shoulder discomfort, and then Giovanni Soto. Now, this first inning continued down with a couple of guys who've been slumping of late, but Soto and DeRosa end up capping off this very big first inning.
Well, this was nice to see because I think the Cubs felt like they let one get away last night. They had a bases-loaded situation, nobody out, down 2 runs, had some runners on base early in the game, and it's so important, particularly the way they have been playing this season at home. They're a very difficult team to try to run down at the friendly confines right now. You start getting into the teeth of that bullpen. They're a very tough team to beat when they're winning going into the 7th.
And Ted Lilly, we talked about him persevering. He ends up going 7 innings, 108 pitches. And if not for Jay Payton, those numbers would be even better. Payton had a pair of 2-run homers off of him after coming into the game. 4.38 lifetime against the Cubs southpaw. And Lilly came in with a 2.75 ERA his last 4 starts, but again, he perseveres through 7 here to get his 8th victory of the year.
Well, you know, the bottom line is this. The Oriole pitching staff, you know, surrendered 10 walks. Ted Lilly, 2 walks from the Cub pitching staff. And that's one of the keys, particularly at this time of the year at Wrigley Field. You're starting to get to where the weather is starting to warm up. There's a little bit more humidity in the air. The wind tends to blow out a little bit more. And this is a ballpark that you can ill afford to put base runners on via the walk. If you're going to give up some home runs, and that's part of the pitching here at Wrigley Field. Gave up 2 2-run home runs to Jay Payton, but for the most part, he was in control of the game, gave his offense a chance to score some runs. And one of the things you'd really like to do if you're a starting pitcher is give that bullpen a chance to get in play because they're awfully good.
Giovanni Soto came into this game hitting .206 in June. He was going to be our Felco star of the game with the 3 runs batted in. But then Kerry Wood came in the 9th inning, save number 20, real quick work. He's now 10 for his last 10, and a little different style pitcher than we saw from Ted Lilly.
You know, you go back to opening day, and he had that rough opening day against Milwaukee, suffered a loss, and I'll tell you what, he has some kind of turned it around. And right here, that's some high fire right there. That's 97 miles an hour. He's looked as good the last 2 weeks as I've seen him in the last 3 or 4 years. And it's a great story because this is a guy who has persevered. You know, he was kind of the cornerstone to build around this starting rotation. He and Mark Pryor, he's had a couple of setbacks, but I will tell you this, he is a tough guy, and he has taken to that closing spot. And one of the things you have to really be impressed with up to this point, as the season has gone on, Chris, he seems to be getting better and better and better. And he's starting to pitch consistently at the 95 to 97 mile an hour range. If he's throwing strikes with his fastball, there is no way that you could sit on his off-speed stuff. If he's throwing strikes, he's lethal.
And he did it with the high heat, too, and finishing off Scott Payton and Cintron 1-2-3 in that 9th inning. Stayed away from the breaking ball when it came down to brass tacks there with a couple of strikes. He went high.
97, you could throw it up there.
I guess you can do that. As we go to break, let's check out our Pontiac opinion poll for the night. What'll happen in round 2 of the Crosstown Classic this weekend? And we'll also find out whether Dan Plesac's talking as much as he did last weekend. Here are your options. Cubs sweep, Cubs win 2-3, the Sox sweep, or the Southsiders win 2-3. Log on to ComcastSportsNet.com. Click the link to Chicago, then go to the Cubs page. Cast your vote. We'll have the results later on Lowe's Cubs Postgame Live.
Coming up on Sports Night, just a day away from the NBA draft, is Derrick Rose already house shopping back in his hometown. Plus, we'll tell you why Alfonso Soriano could still represent the Cubs in the All-Star game. And the White Sox look for a second straight victory out west. That's all ahead after Cubs Postgame Live.
I'm the Southside guy. I know, I can tell. What's that mean? You can go to hell. We played day ball at Addison and Clark. In 30% shield, we're calling after dark. Sparks will fly from our cubby bat. You remind me, I'm Minnesota fat. I'm a Northside guy. I know, I can tell. At least I ain't trapped in no Southside cell. Black and blue, that's why you go to beat. Oh yeah, it's a cross-town rivalry. Southside, Northside, to this side.
Hello, welcome to Lowe's. Grills? Sure. I think you're a big eater, am I wrong? We have got a great selection of outdoor furniture. Go ahead, sniff it. Oh, I see you're looking at the Trex. You got everything you need? I'll take that as a yes.
Time to come out of hibernation and head over to Lowe's for all your outdoor living needs.
Oh, hey, Steve. Yeah, got it all at Lowe's. How do you like your steak?
Lowe's, let's build something together.
Rare.
Something in the way you move, little darling. Yes, there's something in the way you talk that make me realize there's something in the way you move.
The 2008 Volvo XC90 Special Edition SUV. Get together with yours at the Volvo Model Year-End event. Now's the best time to get an 08 Volvo. Event ends June 30th.
Big job? No prob. Take it to the big guys at Jack's Brake and Alignment. Semis, straight trucks, motorhomes. Jack's repair experts will have you back on the road in no time. Jack's Brake and Alignment tackles all major truck repairs, bumper to bumper, complete engine repair, frame straightening, and alignments. Does your commercial fleet need servicing? Set up an account with Jack's Brake and Alignment and get the consistent, reliable service you need to keep you on the road. Jack's Brake and Alignment, serving the Quad Cities since 1965.
For more than 20 years, people have been coming to Bud's Skyline Inn, the Quad Cities' #1 supper club. Fly in for some of Bud's favorites, like their famous surf and turf, tantalizing steaks, succulent catfish, or mouth-watering prime rib. Relax at Bud's Skyline Inn with your favorite cocktail while keeping track of the arrival and departures at the Quad City International Airport. In a hurry? Get in and out with their $6.95 lunch specials every weekday. So for your next special occasion or just a quick lunch, Bud's Skyline Inn, just 2 minutes from the airport.
Mexican food is my favorite.
Me too. Oh no, I forgot the sauce in the taco sauce. Captain Flavor!
Holy hot sauce, Captain Flavor! I know, Dash. These Mexican munchies are missing that mouth-watering Don't worry, folks. We've got just what you need here. Quickly, Dash. Cookies Premium Salsa. Now, Dash, the Cookies Taco Sauce. Don't miss the next episode of Captain Flavor.
Cookies is the one.
There in Bronson Arroyo gave up 10 runs over 1+ last
Makes
night.
me feel a little bit better. I was 1 for 16, so.
Time now for our Kawasaki Let the Good Times Roll feature, and that is the Cubs lineup for tonight. And as you take a look at it, every one of them had a hit except the leadoff man, Eric Patterson, who came in off of those couple of good games against the White Sox, but he had an 0 for tonight. Everyone had a hit. 4 different Cubs had 2 hits, including Ted Lilly. Giovanni Soto drives in the 3 runs. But the other thing that stands out here, 12 hits for the Cubs tonight. They also drew 10 walks, so 22 runners in all. But they also left 14 men on base, and that's something you can't get into a habit of.
Well, it's something they really haven't done a very bad job at. They've been getting guys over, getting them in. Tonight was a game that, you know, this game had a little bit of sloppiness to it from the Orioles pitching staff perspectives. And sometimes the pace of the game, when it's ball 1, ball 2, foul ball, ball 4, you have a lot of walks. The game kind of comes to a little bit of a crawling pace. But one of the things you could look at it on a positive side, to draw 10 walks, you have to be awfully patient. That or you're really facing a pitcher that's having some control issues. I think it was a little bit of both. But one of the things this team has done since the first week of the season, their approach, and I think Joe Perry deserves a tremendous pat on the back, because this has been a team that they have a philosophy about the way they want to approach an at-bat, and very few times this season do you have somebody go up there and give an at-bat away. They make pitchers work. They hit the ball the other way. They've done a very good job.
Of those 14 men left on, 9 were through the first 4 innings. Still to come on the show, we'll have the results of our poll question and look ahead to the mound matchup in tomorrow's series finale.
And now it's time for the Stay in the Game Hold Spotlight, brought to you by Just for Men Hair Color.
With the Cubs up by 3 in the 8th, Carlos Marmol comes on for his Major League leading 21st hold after giving up a leadoff single. Marmol gets Melvin Moore to ground out, then Aubrey Huff strikes out swinging, and Ramon Hernandez strikes out looking to end the inning.
Just as these middle relievers keep their team in the game, you too can stay in the game with Just for Men hair color.
It's gonna work. I don't think it will. Let's go. Dad? It's time. You'd be a really nice catch for somebody. Please?
Just for Men takes 5 easy minutes, targets only the gray hair, and can start something great.
For my girls.
Yes! I'm glad we did it.
Just for Men.
It's the final days to save on the 26 mile per gallon Mercury Mariner. Time's running out to get a no-charge moonroof, 6-disc CD changer, and Sirius satellite radio. But you gotta hurry. Offer ends June 30th.
Kitchen Design Limited. They're the tile specialists, right, Dex?
Oh, that's Kern's Kitchens.
Oh, these cabinets got to go too, huh?
Kitchen Design Limited does custom.
Free consultations?
That's Kern's Kitchens.
Granite countertops.
Of course.
Calvert's Remodeling has those wholesale.
Wait, I'm confused. Who has the guarantee?
Maybe this will help.
Oh.
Now let's talk bathrooms.
Introducing DexKnows.com, the smartest local search on the web. Compare businesses side by side. See hours, services, and more. Visit DexKnows.com.
Something in the way you move, little darling. Yes, there's something in the way you talk that makes me realize there's something in the way you move that makes me.
The 2008 Volvo S80 luxury sedan. Get together with yours at the Volvo Model Year-End event. Now's the best time to get an 08 Volvo. Event ends June 30th.
Yeah, you know the spot.
Right away, sir.
Welcome to Giordano's. Your table's ready.
Thank you.
How's everything?
Fantastic.
What's your secret?
It's the fresh ingredients, and it's been so for the last 30 years.
We made it good. You made it famous.
Hey, you gotta hurry in for this Mercury offer.
Right now, get big savings on the 26 mile per gallon Mercury Mariner.
Now get Mariner with no-charge moonroof, 6-disc CD changer, and Sirius satellite radio with 0% financing for 60 months.
You gotta put Mercury on your list.
Welcome back. Early in the show in our Pontiac opinion poll, we asked what will happen in round 2 of the Crosstown Classic this weekend, and here's the way you voted on ComcastSportsNet.com. Almost 45% of you thinking the Cubs will win 2 of 3. Next up, the Cubs sweeping. We get under double digits. Sox winning 2 of 3 or a Sox sweep. We thank you all for voting. Let's check out the pitching matchups for tomorrow's game. And it is Radimus Liz, who was roughed up by Milwaukee in his last start on Friday. Only lasted 2 innings against Jason Marquis. Dan, he has a 5-game winning streak going.
And his last 3 starts have probably been as good of 3 starts he's strung together since he's been a Cub. Had a terrific start against the Dodgers. I thought his best start of the year a couple of weeks ago on a Saturday in Toronto. And listen, he pitched a very good ball game getting into the 8th inning against the White Sox. And these were some big games, the crosstown games. The key to Jason Marquis is going to be throwing strikes early, picking the tempo of the game. When he keeps the speed of the game going, not spending a lot of time between pitches, the results seem to be better.
That would be the Marquis key, I guess you would say, right?
You're stealing my thunder.
All right, Cubs win at 7-4 over the Baltimore Orioles. Rubber game coming up tomorrow. For Dan Plesac, I'm Chris Bowden. We apologize we weren't able to give you Lou Piniella, but that is coming up on Sports Night. Coming up next with Mark Shanowski and Pat Boyle. Stay tuned for that. Have a good night, everyone.
Cubs Post Game Live is presented to you by Lowe's. Let's build something together.
Hello, welcome to Lowe's. Grills? Sure. I think you're a big eater, am I wrong? We have got a great selection of outdoor furniture. Go ahead, sniff it. Oh, I see you're looking at the Trex. You got everything you need? I'll take that as a yes.
Time to come out of hibernation and head over to Lowe's for all your outdoor living needs.
Oh, hey, Steve. Yeah, got it all at Lowe's. How do you like your steak?
Lowe's, let's build something together.
Rare.
Every car maker's focusing on fuel efficiency, but they've forgotten about the power. At Nissan, we do more with a drop of fuel than any other manufacturer. The dependable Altima, versatile Sentra and reliable Versa. 3 performance sedans with 31 miles per gallon or higher. Lease the Nissan Altima for $199 a month or get $1,500 Nissan cash back on Sentra. Nissan sedans. Lean, mean, driving machines.
There's a world outside every darkened door for the brave are free and lovers soar. Come ride with me to the distant shore. Life is a highway. I wanna ride it all night long.
Ever since there were cars, Americans have had a love affair with the open road. And with quality gasoline and great snacks coast to coast, Valero is your perfect travel companion. Valero, the all-American gasoline for the all-American love affair.
Chicago Tribune Live, presented by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers. Weeknights at 5:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by American Chartered Bank. American Chartered, the bank for your business. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
At Infinity, the art of hospitality is anticipating what people want. Introducing the Infinity EX. Designed to elevate luxury in ways you could never imagine. Ordinary is getting inside a car. Extraordinary is never wanting to leave it. The Infinity EX, the personal luxury crossover.
Lease an Infinity EX for $359 per month for 39 months.
Hi, I'm Ryan Dempster of the Chicago Cubs, and you're watching Comcast Sportsnet.
Coming up on Sports Night.
After the home winning streak finally came to an end, it's a new day for the Cubs on the north side. Can the birthday boy, Aramis Ramirez, lead the way?
Base hit in the left. So Aramis comes through on his birthday.
Maybe Saturday or Sunday or Monday, so I'm going to start thinking about it.
Forget about the doctor's timetable. Alfonso Soriano could be back sooner than expected.
He heals really quick.
It will mean a lot that my hard work has finally paid off.
On the eve of the NBA draft, will the Bulls fulfill Derrick Rose's childhood dream?
What do you call it?
Actually, Lou, it's Sports Night, and it starts right now.
This is Sports Night, presented by Land Rover, from the Comcast Sportsnet studios in downtown Chicago.
Yes, friends, and Lou Piniella, this is indeed Sports Night, presented by Dex. No, actually, this is Land Rover Sports Night tonight, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is Land Rover
10
Sports
o'clock,
Night.
late edition. We'll hear from both Derrick Rose and Michael Beasley on the eve of the NBA draft in just a few minutes.
We should check with Lou, though. You never know. But first, the Cubs look to start a brand new win streak while their unfortunate streak of injuries continues. Already without Soriano and Big Z. Kosuke Fukudome was scratched from tonight's lineup because of tightness in his left calf. They don't think it's serious. Could be back tomorrow. Eric Patterson took his spot in the leadoff position. He was open for him. Before the game, Z gets some work in on that strained shoulder, about 20 tosses. Glenn Casper said that Z said he felt fine when it was done. Bottom first, Aram on his birthday. Go Aram, it's your birthday. Aramis turning the big 3-0 today, drove in the riot. 55th run batted in for him. Next batter is Jim Edmonds. Emergency starter Matt Albers walks him in 4 pitches. Something's wrong with him. He's forced to leave the game after a third of a frame. Lance Cormier enters. Giovanni Soto sends one to short. Alex Absolute Cintron can't come up with it. Ramirez trying to score from second. He does. It's 3-0 Cubs. Next batter, Mark DeRosa, and he sends one into right. He reached base 3 times tonight. That'll play to Edmonds. Cubs lead 4-zip after 1. So Ted Lilly has an early cushion. In the second, Jay Payton sends one to the alley in left center. Wind was blowing out tonight. That's a 2-run shot. His 5th cuts the deficit in half. But the Cubs would answer. Bottom of the inning after an Edmonds RBI fielder's choice. Soto up the gut. Here comes Derek Lee. It's 6-2 Cubs. Save score in the 4th. It's Payton again. This time going the opposite way. Another 2-run homer, his second of the night. Cubs 6, Payton 4. Bottom of the 4th. Edmonds leading off. How you doing? He finds the basket in right center. His 6th home run in 20 games in Cubby Blue. Lou's crew up 7-4. Ted Lilly, he would do the rest. He labored through this one, but he gets Melvin Moore to end the 5th. Then in the 7th, he fans Adam Jones. Lilly goes 7 innings, gave up 5 hits, 4 runs, struck out 4. In the 8th, still 7-4, Carlos Marmol enters. He struggled in his last 2 outings, but he freezes Ramon Hernandez. He struck out 2, and Kerry Wood comes in to close it out, striking out the side. He gets his 20th save. Cubs win it 7-4. So they still have not lost back-to-back home tilt since the second game of the season versus Milwaukee. Soto drove in 3 runs as the Cubs run their home record to a Major League best 33-9. Cardinals are still playing in Detroit, so right now the Cubs lead is 4 in the NL Central. Here is Lou Piniella.
Yeah, we had a lot of people on base, and to Baltimore's credit, they wiggled out a few of them, but we put 7 runs on the board. We scored early, and our pitchers made it stand.
You could come off that the loss to get 4 runs real quick.
Yeah, we scored 4 runs there in the first inning. It's a nice cushion for Ted. And, you know, he pitched well. He gave up a couple 2-run homers to Peyton, and basically that's about all that Baltimore got. Marmol pitched well, and so did Woody there at the end to finish it.
What impressed you about that today?
You know, he didn't have his curveball early in the ballgame, and he kept working on it. And about the 4th inning or so, it kicked in and became a very usable pitch for him in his mix, and allowed him to go 7 innings.
Were you encouraged by Carlos Marmol?
Yeah, Carlos, you know, yesterday he was better, and today he was even better than that. So, yeah, it's good to see. He's a tough kid.
We talked a lot about Edmonds and his progress here, but he's becoming a real asset for you.
He really is. He really is. I mean, he's worked hard, and he's done a really nice job out in center field, and now he's starting to supply some punch. You know, he gives you a good at-bat. I mean, he knows the strike zone, and he's hitting the ball out of the ballpark. It's something that we really needed, and especially with all the injuries that we have.
Time now for our Honda head-to-head matchup. Here's a look at the Cubs' ever-changing pitching rotation for the rest of the week. Tomorrow it's going to be Jason Marquis. Then for the White Sox series, Ryan Dempster's now going to pitch on Friday in the opener. Chuck Gallagher will start on Saturday. And you got Sean Marshall will make another start on Sunday night. Still to come on the show, post-game reaction to the Cubs' 33rd win at home on the campaign. We'll hear from Ted Lilly later in Sports Night.
Well, the long wait is almost over for Bulls fans after beating the odds to win the draft lottery way back on May 20th. John Paxson will finally claim his prize tomorrow night. Chicago native Derrick Rose has his family with him out in New York, all of them looking forward to the prospect of Derrick being drafted #1 by his hometown team. Rose will find out very soon if his childhood dream has become a reality.
It don't mean a lot that my hard work has finally paid off, just being #1, and my performance throughout the year was, I seen if I'm going #1 better than everyone else, man, it'd be awesome. That's my dream, is to play in my hometown. Like I said before, like, I thought that LeBron James was the luckiest person because he got to play in his hometown, and if I get that chance, I'll like it. I've been playing Chicago my whole life, I think, so I think that it shouldn't be that big of a distraction.
And while Rose looks forward to joining his hometown Bulls, all of a sudden Michael Beasley isn't sure where he'll start his pro career. The Miami Heat own the #2 pick, but apparently Pat Riley isn't sold on Beasley. So he's looking at several trade possibilities to move down in the draft and select one of 2 guards the Heat worked out on Tuesday, USC's O.J. Mayo and Arizona's Jared Bayless. Beasley sounds a little worn out by all the negative questions that have hounded him since he declared for the draft.
I haven't heard that. I mean, I guess it's cool. You know, wherever I end up, I'm fine. You know, I just want to play. No matter what team it is, I'm going to play my hardest and play my best. Obviously, it means a lot to go #1. You know, but I just want to get drafted. You know, as dumb as that might sound, I just want to play. I just want to get to the next step.
We'll all know the answers to these questions by this time tomorrow night, and we invite you to stay with Comcast Sportsnet before and after the draft. At 6 p.m., it's Bulls Draft Preview. Gail Fisher reports live from New York. Plus, Kendall Gill will join me in studio. We'll interview Derrick Rose's high school coach. And Sam Smith and Stacey King go head-to-head debating Rose versus Beasley. We'll see if Stacey is still on the Beasley bandwagon. At 9:30, it's Bulls Draft Spotlight. Gail talks with the top pick. And Norm Van Leer will join the panel in studio. We'll break down the draft and find out how it might affect some of the veteran players on the Bulls roster. You can forget about the Bulls trying to work out a deal for that guy, Indiana Pacers big man Jermaine O'Neal. The five-time All-Star is headed north of the border to join the Toronto Raptors. In exchange, Indiana will get point guard T.J. Ford, 7-footer Rasho Nesterovic, and the 17th pick in tomorrow's draft. Because of salary cap issues, the trade can't officially be completed and announced until July 9th.
We're not done with the NBA or the Bulls. Still to come on the show, we'll hear from John Paxson on the importance of tomorrow night's first selection as it relates to the future of the organization. And we head back to Wrigley for an update on Cubs outfielder Alfonso Soriano. We'll tell you if Lou's leadoff man is ahead of schedule and the date he's targeting for a return. And we'll catch up with Carrie and Sarah Wood, who are going green at their annual charity bowling tournament. We'll explain coming up on Land Rover Sports Night.
Hello, welcome to Lowe's. Grills? Sure. I think you're a big eater, am I wrong? We have got a great selection of outdoor furniture. Go ahead, sniff it. Oh, I see you're looking at the Trex. You got everything you need? I'll take that as a yes.
Time to come out of hibernation and head over to Lowe's for all your outdoor living needs.
Oh, hey, Steve. Yeah, got it all at Lowe's. How do you like your steak?
Lowe's, let's build something together.
Rare.
Today, we're observing the Geico gecko, an extraordinary creature with a most curious adaptation. The ability to save people hundreds of dollars on their car insurance. Let's watch.
That's odd.
Whoa. Fascinating.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
This year, when the sun goes down, the night heats up. Chicagoland Speedway is now rocking the summer day and night and bringing all of NASCAR's biggest stars to town in a first-ever historic night race. For ticket information, call 888-629-RACE or visit chicagolandspeedway.com.
Summer buckets are here. Steamy buckets of spice-rubbed barbecue Dungeness crab and buckets of peel-and-eat shrimp, mussels, and ice-cold beer. Buckets always bring folks together. Enjoy a few with your friends.
You're watching the home of the Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, and White Sox. Comcast Sportsnet.
%75% of all the Land Rovers sold in this country are still on the road. Despite the best efforts of our drivers. Make an appointment to put a Land Rover through its paces.
Land Rover Sports Night is brought to you by your local Land Rover dealers. The adventure begins at your Illinois Land Rover retailer today.
Welcome back. Kerry Wood and his wife Sarah are going green this year, partnering with the Chicago Public Schools and the Organic School Project. At Elcott School on the north side, the kids grow their own fruits and green vegetables. Eventually, they make their way to the cafeteria menu, which is a good idea. The Cubs closer will be raising funds for this new venture on August 6th at his Celebrity Bowling Tournament.
Going green a little bit, yeah, it's great, and it's a great idea, and I still eat junk like everybody else does, but I think ultimately, you know, us with our children, we started them at a young age and got them eating, you know, great foods that we thought were healthy and good for them, and so again, you know, getting it into the school system, and sometimes it's tough to eat healthy away from, you know, at home, and your parents work, you get fast food all the time. So it's just nice to have an option and have something, and to start, like I said, to start at a school and get them at a young age is I think will be beneficial.
Barring any super delegate surprises in the last week of All-Star voting, it looks like the Cubs will have 3 position players representing them at the Midsummer Classic at Yankee Stadium. Soto, Fukudome, and Soriano have been the leading vote-getters so far at every checkpoint. For Alfonso, he's hoping his broken hand will be ready to go by the July 15th game. Kerry Sayers has the latest on his injury.
It's been 2 weeks since Alfonso Soriano broke the bone in his left hand, and 14 very long days for him away from the field. But later this week, he's finally hoping to get some good news.
If they say that my hand's good on Friday, so I think maybe Saturday or Sunday or Monday, so I'm going to start swinging the bat, just, you know, maybe 10 swing, 20 swing, just at least do something with my hand.
The Cubs originally thought the injury would keep Soriano out of the lineup for 6 weeks. But with the way he's progressing so far, it appears he's on track to make an early return.
He heals really quick. I don't want to sound overly optimistic, but I'll tell you this, if there's anybody that can do it, he's shown he can. Now, this is a broken bone as opposed to being muscular, but, you know, he's coming along fine.
Yeah, I think before I'll be available to play before the All-Star game. And if I'm available to play, so I think I'm going to the All-Star game. I think I said to myself 2 more weeks, the most, and see what happens.
Soriano is the leading vote-getter amongst NL outfielders, and even if he isn't back on the field for the Cubs before the All-Star break, he still hopes to participate in the Midsummer Classic and head back to Yankee Stadium for one more time, where he spent the first 5 years of his career.
I like to go because that stadium and see me growing up, so I like to go there and play in the All-Star game in New York because, like I said, so that the stadium see me growing up.
The All-Star game, if he's going to be ready afterwards, the All-Star game will be fine too. It wouldn't. Now, if we're going to have to rush him to get him back to the All-Star game, that's a little different story. But if he's going to be ready right after the All-Star game, why not?
From Wrigley Field, Kerry Sayers, Comcast Sportsnet.
Thanks, Kerry. Coming up next, the Cubs scored early and often tonight. We'll head inside their clubhouse for more reaction to a big win over the O's. And we'll also check in with some Bears players helping out at a football camp for kids in Naperville.
But now it's time for the Land Rover Big Question. Mark DeRosa's played 5 positions so far this season for Lou. Tonight's query: in the last 25 years, which Cub has played the most positions in one season? We'll have the answer coming up.
Small. Big. Minimum. Maximum. A lot.
For a little, the Nissan Versa, 33 miles per gallon and the largest interior volume in its class.
This quote of the week is brought to you by Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovic. For an insurance quote for auto, home, life, or business, please call Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovic at 847-825-4783.
Join us in downtown Evanston this Saturday and Sunday for the Fountain Square Art Festival, located at Sherman and Church. This event features more than 200 fine artists, live music, food, and the new Volvo C70 convertible on display. For more information, call 773-868-3010 or visit Chicago.
Race into the store-wide sale at Planet Audio Video, where you'll get 20% off all in-stock speakers and audio components and 10% off all in-stock TVs. That's 20% off great audio brands like Denon, Marantz, Monitor Audio, Paradigm, and more. Plus 10% off amazing TVs by Hitachi, LG, and Mitsubishi. You'll also find people who can intelligently answer your questions about the television changes that are coming. So race in for our 10% off all in-stock TVs and 20% off all in-stock audio components and speakers at the Planet Audio Video store-wide sale.
Get ready for dodgeball and rock at the Daiquiri Factory in the District of Rock Island on June 28th. This year's live musical guest is Candlebox. The dodgeball tournament will feature a youth league for players aged 13 to 17 and an adult league for players 18 and up. Watch as area teams duck, dive, and slam their way to glory for the title of District Dodgeball Champions. Tickets available at ticketweb.com, Co-op Records, and at the Daiquiri Factory, or visit us online at daiquirifactory.com.
Looking for a great new job? Airland Transport is currently hiring drivers. If you have a Class A license, this is an outstanding opportunity to work for a locally owned company that offers competitive wages and benefits, paid holidays, and more. Airland Transport is looking for good people like you to continue providing quality transportation service. Do you want to be home daily? Tired of where you're currently working? Give Airland a call today at 800-224-2899 or visit us in East Moline.
McDonald's Sports Rise every morning only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
It's the last few weeks of free time for the Bears before training camp starts on July 23rd in Bourbonnais, but several players helped out with the youth football in Naperville today. Top draft pick Chris Williams, veterans Mark Bradley, Adrian Peterson, and Jason McKee provided instruction to the young athletes who are getting ready for action next fall.
It's all about the youth, man, you know, developing the youth in any city, especially Chicago and my hometown and stuff. And, you know, that's where it starts at.
We are human, just like they are. You know, we come out and support the different things. So, you know, someday I'm pretty sure one of these guys going to be in the same position where I am.
Do my little impersonation of Coach Smith. Don't take it personal, Coach. Everybody know you're a nice guy, so we're going to be nice out here.
We are in every major city that also has an NFL team, and we're very proud of our association with the Chicago Bears, and that's why we come back year in and year out. This camp has over about 150 kids, and they come from all over. Most of them are from Illinois.
Back to the Bulls now. Most NBA